he said it. We're going to fight in the middle of the ring there. We're going to step to the plate. And two young, hungry lions going at it. That's how I want it, baby. That's what I want. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. This is what I've been working towards my whole career. And I bring it on. I wish it was today. I've been saying it for so long, man. I'm excited. I had a hell of a session this morning. And you said the way I train, man. I'm a beast.
TEOFIMO, you said that you were going to send George out on a stretcher. George, you said that you're going to send him out on a body bag. You've been calling, I think, for a lot of violence in this fight. So I guess, TEOFIMO, why so confident that you're going to get that result come up on June 19th?
Well, the whole thing, I'm the best at what I do. I believe he believes in himself as well. He took the fight. And he fought his way to getting the shot with me. So my whole thing is just getting in the ring and doing what I got to do. Why I'm so confident is because this ain't my first rodeo. I've been in this type of magnitude of a fight before. If not, this is bigger and better. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to giving what the people want to see. Giving them not just the speed, not the power, but the ring IQ and the excitement all around. I have all the fundamentals to become and still be the best boxer, if not the only boxer to ever do it at this time right now. Everybody else has been doing their own thing in their own cycle at the moment, and I'm just looking to do my own wave and be my own guy. And on the whole thing right now, come next week, man, it's all about just being hands still.
George, you train down here, so you're familiar with the area and the atmosphere and things like that. But is it more of a comforting thing to train at home? Because usually, when do you guys come down? A week before, 2 weeks before the fight?
Man, I've been preparing here in Miami, Fort Lauderdale,
right,
for the last 5, 6 training camps and fights. This has been my home for the last 11 weeks. But all my fights, especially my big fights, and he talks about pressure and this level. I've been to get to this opportunity. You got to go through the pressure. You got to go through, the backyards. I've gone to the backyards. I've been on that journey for a long time. And for me to get here, you best believe I know what pressure is about. And I love pressure. But really, there is no real pressure on me, to be honest. I'm coming in. The belts are on the line. He's got all the belts. He talks about the pressure. Well, it's all on him. He's got to put it on the line. But this is my home, man. I love it here. This is. I feel like this is my people.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Rap Star. We're back talking about that boxing, and I wanted to touch on a different subject today. I wanted to talk about the Juneteenth big fight with TEOFIMO Lopez versus George KHAMBOSOS. Now, I know a lot of people haven't been breaking down the fight because they think, and everybody's got a right to think like this, that TEOFIMO Lopez, the king of the lightweight division, the man who beat the man in Lomachenko said on Snow Queen this week, and he finally admitted that TEOFIMO Lopez is the real deal. He said TEOFIMO Lopez is the undisputed champion. And he also did say that he said, the fight was close. Lomachenko says, I want the rematch. Whether TEOFIMO Lopez fancies the rematch or not, that's another story. But he gave him his props. He turned around and said that TEOFIMO Lopez is the undisputed champion, and that came from Lomachenko himself. And look, at the end of the day, this is a big fight. But, nobody's giving a chance in the whole world. Nobody in the world is giving a chance. When you speak to the media channels, when you speak to the boxing channels, you speak to the Australian friends I've got, everybody who's hardcore in boxing, they don't give KHAMBOSOS a chance in hell to win a fight against TEOFIMO Lopez. We got to remember, this is boxing. At the end of the day, this is not swimming. This is not ice hockey. This is not a sport, where at the end of the day, this is boxing. And at the end of the day, we know that TEOFIMO Lopez is a special, special fighter. But George KHAMBOSOS, no one is breaking down the fight for George KHAMBOSOS. It's like George KHAMBOSOS is a dummy. George KHAMBOSOS is just going in there for a paycheck. And this is how everybody in boxing even ESPN, even you, I mean, not ESPN, even you look at Triller, how they're going to put this fight together. This is a Teofimo Lopez event. This is a Teofimo Lopez show. This is just like George Kambosos is there just to be there for a fucking fight so that he can just be an opponent. He ain't got no chance in hell to win this fight. Now, let's just see this. Now, this kid, George Kambosos, he's a kid who's been fighting and training in America for most of his life. He's the same kid who was training with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, he gave him the opportunity to train with him in Freddie Roach's gym. So this kid's got experience. He's been fighting in other countries as well. He's been training from fucking 7 years old for this one fucking time of his life. So George Kambosos, being a boxer, no boxing fan is breaking down that he's got a chance in this fight. Now, look, this is boxing at the end of the day. George Kambosos, he's an unbeaten fighter. He's never fucking lost. He doesn't know how it is to lose. So at the end of the day, there's going to be controversy in that fight. There's got to be something that George Kambosos brings in this fight that's going to cause some kind of controversy. And if he doesn't, and Teofimo Lopez just puts him to sleep, like he's been telling everybody, like even Teofimo Lopez, he don't even give a fuck about George Kambosos. He's been talking about Devin Haney. He's been talking about Josh Taylor. He ain't even talking about George Kambosos. There is no respect for George Kambosos. Remember my words. Rapstar saying this to everybody. By the boxing fans, by the Teofimo Lopez camp, by the media channels, even the Australian boxing people. They are not supporting George Kambosos to win anything in this fight. So let's just keep it real. George Kambosos is the biggest underdog in this fight in 2021. And if he wins this fight, will that be one of the biggest upsets in boxing? If George Kambosos beats Teofimo Lopez for the undisputed title, for all the belts, would that be one of the biggest upsets in boxing in the last, I don't know, how many years? What's the biggest upset? If that's not a big upset, with the way that people are talking about this fight and not giving any chance to Kambosos, if he does anything in this fight, whether he, let's say he causes a controversy, let's say that George Kambosos starts winning some rounds in there, and then all of a sudden, when Teofimo Lopez turns it up, he might not be able to hurt him. Can that happen? Can it happen that George Kambosos has got a chin that refuses to go down? Now, look, at the end of the day, everybody in boxing, and even me, I've got Teofimo Lopez beating George Kambosos by the 8th round. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in all that hype, what his dad's saying, what Teo's saying. You know, I'm going to stop him in the 1st round or I'm going to stop him in the 3rd round. George Kambosos is put himself in this position and he's trained really hard to know. Don't forget, the man's got experience. He's already beat Mickey Bay, whether it was a split decision or not, which was a world champion. He beat Lee Selby, which was a world champion at once. So the man's got experience. He's not exactly Linares. Let's see what Linares, when Linares has lost 5 times and he nearly fucking rocked Devin Haney. Regardless of Devin Haney winning those 10 rounds, or 9 rounds, or some people had Devin Haney winning 6 rounds and had Linares winning 2 rounds until Linares fucking nearly stopped Devin Haney in the 10th round. You know what I mean? And, you know, people thought at some point that Luke Campbell was going to beat Ryan Garcia. Some people thought that Ryan Garcia wasn't ready and mature enough for Luke Campbell. So at the end of the day, yeah, look, Kambosos, as a real boxing fan, yeah, you ain't going to give him much of a chance. But if you really break it down, he's got to cause some controversy in there. He hasn't just come and trained all his life to have an unbeaten record, that not to try and do something in this fight. Now, one thing that Teofimo Lopez has got, he's just too good of a fighter. He's got a strong jab and he's got power in both of his hands. How does Kambosos cause any kind of conflict for Teofimo Lopez? Now, can he use his reach? Can Kambosos use his feet? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, as boxing fans, do we expect anything from George Kambosos? That's the question. I know we got a Kambosos fan in the building. This is a big, big fan of Kambosos. Yo, introduce yourself, bro.
Yo, it's your boy D Calico, in
Yeah.
the building.
What you saying, bro?
Man, hey, they sleep. You know what I'm saying? I,
Talk
I
to us.
understand. I understand we all want to go for the American. You know how that go. You know what I'm saying? But more than anything, I always love an underdog. But this is a good underdog. You feel me? Like this underdog has the experience, and I wouldn't care if he never had a fight in his career. He been sparring with Pacquiao for years.
Mm.
There is nothing Teofimo Lopez can bring that he hasn't seen. You know, yeah. I mean, even though I don't expect Pacquiao to necessarily beat Errol Spence, I do expect Cambosis to make him look good by beating Teofimo. It's gonna be the upset of the year. You know what I mean? For real. Now I don't know if Cambosis is gonna go any further. Like if he has to fight Devin Haney, I don't think that'll sit well for him. The Teofimo Devin Haney fight is much better, but Cambosis is gonna win this motherfucker.
Yeah, let's
Tell
go
you.
to Joni
You know what I'm
Diaz.
saying?
Then I'll come back to you, D Calico. What up, Joni Diaz? How you
Yeah.
feeling, bro?
Hey, what's up, brother?
So
Just
what do you think about this? As boxing fans, nobody's giving Kambosos a chance in this fight, bro. Apart from D Calico, D Calico thinks that Kambosos can actually beat Teofimo Lopez, right? But how do you feel about this? As a boxing fan, do you think Kambosos can cause any kind of upset? Do you think he causes any conflict? Or how do you break this fight down, bro?
for me, at first I was like, man, it just seems like Teofimo wasn't. He's not like focused. He's loving his new stardom, which it's fine. But I was kind of like, man, hopefully it's not like a Nandi Reese. They got once they made that money and they got all those belts, they kind of lose concentration. But then in time, so at first at that moment I was like, oh man, I think it's gonna be an easy upset. To be honest, even though I'm a fan, more of a fan, but I've been watching Cambosos for the last few fights, not just highlights, but the last few fights. So I've been telling everybody, man, he's not bad. It's just he's just not that known. People only because you don't know. A lot of people don't know him don't mean he ain't good. I mean, like I tell everybody, skills wise, he's way better than Ryan Garcia. Skills wise, you know what I'm saying? When we talking about skills, who
Like
does what
technically.
better? He's way
Yeah.
better than Ryan Garcia. Now, obviously, Garcia got the name, he got the fan, the followers, and he got the power. But like I said, I've been watching Cambosos for a while. So I see those little things, and I like the little thing that he does, especially when he works inside. He kind of has somewhat of a Pacquiao, but he does some little moves on the inside that is nice. If everybody go see the last fight, not the last fight he had, but when he had with Mickey Bay,
Mm.
the one that he drops him, that punch that he drops him with, you gotta pay attention to the little moves. He does it good. It's not easy to do those moves. But
Yeah,
now,
hey,
yeah,
I'm just gonna say this. I want you to break it down in a minute
yeah.
because the reason why I just want to know that as boxing fans, right? We know that Teofimo Lopez is the favorite. We know Teofimo Lopez is going in there, and we know that more likely he's the one who's coming out with the victory. I mean, I do. I know that Teofimo's going to, no matter what happens, Teofimo Lopez right now is a special fighter, bro. He's possessed. He's 135 number one king of the division. I can't see how Cambosis can beat him. But as boxing fans, I want you to break it down what chances we got. Like, how can you break it down? How can Cambosis beat him? because it'll only be fair for us to try and give him an opportunity to how we would win. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely, definitely, definitely.
So before I get to that, there's a lot of people in the chat. We've got David in the building. If Cambosis trains really hard, he can last for one round. Johnny Blaze in the building. Yeah, Johnny Diaz is here now. We've got Don Ramon in the building. I can't wait to hear people talk boxing. I'm done with the dude about. I'm done with one dude alone by himself talk all night. I don't know what that means. All right. We got Bustin' You. Go Teofimo Lopez. We got Mackie in the building. I'm here. Yeah, man. We got Jashawn Brown. Salute to Rapstar, bro. We got Savage. Savage says Shield did a good job. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Clarissa Shield, respect to Clarissa Shields, bro. She went to
Salute.
MMA and beat the woman. She beat her up. So you know what I mean? She did boxing proud. Respect to Clarissa Shields, bro.
Yeah.
We got NL in the building. Salute to Rapstar. God bless you, brother. We got Savage. And we got Lisa Bells, my sister out there. Lisa Bells.
Lisa.
Yeah. Hey, look. Let's keep cooking, bro. And we got bacon and eggs. Yeah, bacon and eggs. What's happening, mate? You all right, bro? And we got Andre in the building. Cambosis really doesn't have a chance, my G. He's facing a young lion entering his prime, who also is a man of God. So what do you think about that, D Calico? That
Man,
you
what's it?
cannot beat Teofimo Lopez, no matter even if it's Cambosis, Ryan Garcia,
Look,
even all these guys, they can't beat Teofimo Lopez.
bro.
Even after we saw the way that Devin Haney, we saw that Linares hurt Devin Haney. And a lot of people say now that, Devin Haney shouldn't face Teofimo Lopez because Teofimo Lopez is the number one guy. He beat the fucking GOAT. He beat Lomachenko. What do you think about that, D. Calico?
Just speaking on the Linares comparison, is really, I know, put it like this. He looks like a young Linares. That's what Teofimo looks like. Because Linares actually, he hits harder. He's a harder puncher than Teofimo. If we're gonna use Lomachenko as the measuring stick, then Linares hits harder. There's no way around it. It's not to say he boxes better. We're not gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But I still don't see enough offense in him to do anything to Devin unless it's the late round swinging for the fences. And I'm gonna tell you the thing about Teofimo. This is for anybody to be able to beat him. I promise you. Teofimo has power in the early round. He has power to maybe the sixth round. Teofimo will not knock nobody out in the late rounds.
Gotcha.
He's not gonna do it. So weather the storm, outclass him in the early round, and then outbox him. Then get
So how does
inside.
Cambosis outclass him? Lomachenko couldn't do it. So let me just
No.
ask you this: is Cambosis supposed to use his reach? Is he using his jab? Is he using his feet? Is he moving around? What is he doing, D Calico? Can you break it down for us?
He's gonna be a healthy version of Lomachenko. He's gonna be a young, healthy version of what Lomachenko could have done. You know what I mean? That's really what it's gonna boil down to. It's gonna be intelligence versus brawn. So we're gonna, because we know everybody can say guys don't have this kind of power and that kind of power. They all have power. And if a guy can outthink you, then that's gonna expose you at least for the future. He's gonna get exposed. I feel
Okay,
like
well let's keep it moving. Johnny Diaz, look, at the end of the day, Lomachenko never threw a punch for 6 rounds. Is Cambosis going to be able to do better than Lomachenko, bro?
Well, yeah, Cambosos is gonna do good. Now, at this point, I think that Cambosos is gonna do good. It's gonna be exciting while it lasts. But I'm not gonna lie, I do believe that Teofimo will end it by between 6 to 8 round. And the reason I'm saying this because we're forgetting that he has Rubio in his corner now, which is the Cuban trainer, which he trained Luke Campbell, Rick Ondao, Amir Khan, Gamboa, he had trained so many people, and I liked what they. And keep in mind, he helped Senior on his Lopez first fight when Teofimo's Lopez first fight. Rubio was the assistant trainer right there at that time. So they've been knowing each other since Teofimo's is 15 or 16. So I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to just add things here and there. Now people are looking at the training method and they're like, "Oh, you got that from Lomachenko," but what they don't know is that actually it's a Cuban type of training because of lack of equipment that they have in Cuba. Now Russian and Ukraine, all that, they had trained with Cuban, so obviously they learned from each other, but he's the one that implemented that. It had nothing to do with Lomachenko, and then he's talking about power. No, that's wrong because you're talking about, because in the first 6 round, but then again, wasn't it in the last round when he almost dropped Lomachenko?
Mm.
you know, he still had the power. He just had to manage. He just had to make sure that he didn't get tired because you don't want to use
When you
everything.
don't have.
So let me say this though. In the chat, one of our subscribers, Rio X says, "Tell that guy D Calico, put your money where your mouth is, because if you think
Yeah.
Cambosis is gonna beat Teofimo, then you dreaming, bro."
Yeah. Hey, how much I'm gonna win if I bet 100 on Gamboa? How much is Las Vegas gonna pay me?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. And you
He's
believe
a
me,
massive. He's a
I'm
big
going at
underdog.
it.
He's a
I'm
big
going
underdog.
at it. I love that. That's the reason I bet it with Teofimo the first time. I like odds. I love those kind of odds.
Yeah, but let's be fair.
It's not a mismatch
Yeah, but
to
let's
that
be fair,
degree.
bro. I mean, let's be fair. Cambosis, it doesn't look like he might be that threat. I mean, where has he shown you that he could be a threat? I mean, Teofimo Lopez is an animal right now, bro. Teofimo Lopez is on another level to a lot of people. I mean,
Exactly.
even
The
I don't
confidence.
Lomachenko,
know.
D.
I don't
Calico,
know
even
about that.
Lomachenko said himself today. I mean, sorry, a couple of days ago. Lomachenko said that, look, Teofimo Lopez, fair play to him. He's an undisputed champion and he's the real deal. I mean,
Hey,
go ahead.
that, on that day that Lomachenko lost, he would have lost to all of his tough opponents. There's not opponent. He would have lost to Gary Russell Jr. that same day if he would have fought him. He he would have lost to all of the tough fights that he's had. Those guys would have beat him that same day. He was not the same. He's just not a bitch about it. He's not gonna keep complaining and letting y'all know, yeah, I was injured. I couldn't throw a punch. But he still couldn't be knocked out. He still couldn't get knocked out by Teofimo. So all of the power that he may have, it really is not all that impressive as far as compared to what he did to Lomachenko. Like Lomachenko would never be that. He'll never be in that position again. He'll never be he'll never have a fight that sorry.
Yeah, but he
You'll
doesn't
never
just
see.
have power, D. Calico. He has boxing skills. Teofimo Lopez has a great jab.
Come
He
on.
has great boxing IQ. Let's not
Did
forget.
did did,
Let's not
did he
forget
box? Who did he
the
box?
man can put you to sleep in any round.
That's the
Damn,
only thing. That's the only thing he can do.
you
He
just
can't
don't
box.
like Teofimo, bro. Like
No,
based
he's
on
not
what
no
you're
great
based
boxer,
on based on what you're
bro.
saying, it's fine. Look, it's fine to like who you like, right? But you can't
Who do I like?
discredit a fighter. You can't say that because you say who did he knock? 16 fights with 12 knockouts. Look at
No,
that
no,
percentage.
I ain't say
And with
punch. I
top
ain't say punch.
fighters.
I say who did he box? Who
Who
did
did
he
he box?
outbox? He
Nakatani?
outboxed Lomachenko. No, he didn't. Every fight he has, he swing for the fences, and that's the only way he
Because
survived.
they top fighters. And you gotta understand
Bro,
that they're top 10 fighter, 10 pound
bro,
at his weight
bro.
class, they were like the top 10 fighters.
If you
Show
got class, you got class. I'm not mad that he. It's like saying Javante Davis don't outbox. He don't outbox people. He beat them up. That's just what he do.
well,
But
Leo Santa Cruz was outboxing him. Beating
All
him.
right. Well, let's go to the
Well,
chat,
beating him.
Joni
So
Diaz. Let's
yeah,
go to the chat, right? Let's see if you agree with these people.
yeah, I
So we
can't read
got
it. So
we got
let me know.
Brandon White in the building. We got Abe in the building. Now watch this. NL says Teofimo has fought top level fighters in his last 3 fights. It's hard to see a Cambosis will beat Teofimo Lopez has Kambosos fought any competition in the level of Tio's opponents? Now let's ask that to D Calico.
Man,
What do you say
and
about that, bro?
man, sparring Pacquiao is light years ahead of all of those that competition that you can bring up. None of those guys can amount to even sparring with Pacquiao. He didn't just start doing it when he got in the sport. No, him and Pacquiao, they both live on that portion of the world. So it's easier for him in Australia and him in Philippines to link up and train. They have been training for nearly a decade. He is nothing that he hasn't seen. As far as the competition thing don't mean nothing because he's seen the best on a regular basis. I don't think we understand that. Like Pacquiao actually respects him. He
But
respects him in that ring from
Okay,
sparring.
well,
but
let's
you're
see what
seeing
the
things
chat
wrong.
says.
You're seeing things wrong though. You're talking about, yeah, he's sparring the best, but he's fighting that style. He's just been, you see what I'm saying? That's the best style. Now, sparring is different things. You're making it look
Yeah,
like
styles make
Pacquiao.
fight,
You make it look like Pacquiao has millions of style. So he's
but he
so
has a better style.
no, he has that. He fight his style. He's good at that style. Doesn't mean that, you feel me. There's
I understand.
different
His
there's
styles make
different
fight.
type of style. So you can't say that
Well,
because
let's get the flavor from the fans. I just want to know what the fans are feeling about this fight on Juneteenth. So Johnny Blaze says, I got Teofimo Lopez knocking out Kambosos in 6 rounds. If this fight goes after 6 rounds or even goes to 12 rounds, I'm going to be shocked. Now,
Yep.
do you agree with that? Lot of boxing fans. If this fight goes the distance, they're going to be hating on Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
Now, let's just keep the shit real. A lot of people are expecting Teofimo Lopez to put Kambosos to sleep, right? Johnny Diaz, let's keep it real. A lot of people think with the hype and where Teofimo Lopez is an undisputed champion, he's a pound for pound fighter. This guy, they think he's not on his level. Now, we know that Kambosos has put himself in this position.
exactly.
So, at the end of the day, I mean, let's be fair about it. If Kambosos gives him a little bit of a hard fight, Teofimo Lopez is going to, like, he's not going to get the credit that he deserves on this fight. Do you
Well,
get what I mean?
he's not gonna get the credit regardless. You know why?
Mm.
Because if it goes 12 rounds, oh, you see, I told you, Theo is not good. And if he wins by knockout in the early rounds, oh, you see, Cambosa wasn't good. So it's just gonna be that, to be honest. Now, like I said, I put, as a fan aside, I just, as a fighter, as a just a fan of boxing. I mean, I do, like I said, I agree with whoever said that comment. The 6th round. But if it goes further, I'm not gonna be mad at it. Anybody's
Yeah.
looking for any
You're right.
reason, just like Haney's. Like when something happened to him, or with anybody. Oh, they didn't look good in the last round. Well, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to look for something, but just to attack that person. You feel me? But
Yeah.
when it's their fighter, oh, nobody wants to hear it. So I'm just fair. It's
Well,
just like,
let's all agree with one thing at a time, because
yeah,
some hardcore boxing fans like witness the hoax. He says, I actually think Kambosos is going to do better than Lomachenko. Now
agreed.
let's start with that. Do you really think, like, because Lomachenko never started the fight until the 7th round, he wasn't really comfortable in the first 5, 6 rounds. He was like not getting his groove on. He was kind of getting hurt when he was trying to come in. So he kept his distance and he was trying to see if Teofimo Lopez can get tired. And that's when Lomachenko started putting it on Teofimo Lopez. Now, is Kambosos gonna do better than Lomachenko? That's the number
100%,
one question.
100% in the first 6 rounds. That's for sure. Just can't say after that.
So you think Kambosos is gonna have a better fight in the first
A
six
better
rounds for
start.
sure?
He's saying a
Yes,
better
yes,
start.
definitely better start. The
Yeah.
end, we don't know. Most likely not, but better start, definitely. Anybody will have a better fight in the first
Yeah.
6 rounds than what Lomo did, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so let's just keep this shit real, bro. Let's break down the fight, man. Johnny Diaz, how does this fight go? How does it start? And what do you think is the controversy in this fight, if there is any controversy?
Well, okay, this is what I think. I think the first round, I think Cambosa is gonna actually trying to test him out, but kind of just to test, not go crazy. But I do believe that Teofimo is gonna start putting pressure. Start get pushing them back to make Cambosa's fight. Because you for Teofimo, he got to earn respect. So by earning respect is by landing those hard shots from the beginning. Just so Cambos, because once you get hit, his reaction might change a little bit. Because we don't know how hard Teofimo hits now. You got to understand that he got his man strength, and a big fight like a Lomo fight could give you that confidence, and that confidence could take you very far, especially when you got the skills and power and everything to back it up. So,
Okay.
But I do believe 6 to 8 rounds. It's gonna be exciting while it lasts. I'm not gonna lie, but I think 6 to 8 rounds.
Okay, D Calico, would you agree with any of that? You don't agree with that? No?
No, I really don't.
Yes.
But what I'm
So
saying
tell me
is,
what you're feeling.
see, it's gonna even if he were to knock Cambosis out, I feel it'll be pretty much like the Javante fight. But I don't think he possesses what Javante had, but it'll be like that. He's gonna get out boxed because he's not coming with a truly orthodox plan. If he came with the same
What,
game
Tio's
plan,
gonna get outboxed by Cambosis?
yes, he definitely is because
Okay.
he's gonna come in there like he's a UFC fighter or some shit. He's gonna come in there like he's some big bully. He's not gonna come in there like a boxer. He's not gonna fight him the same way that he fought Lomachenko. Lomachenko being the GOAT at that moment, being that he was so great, Teofimo took it all the way serious. He brought his jab to the table. He really came with the fundamentals, regardless what Lomachenko brought. He brought the fundamentals, but he's not gonna do that in this fight. He's gonna be cocky. He thinks he's on top of the world. He believes what y'all believe. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna come in there like he's the big bad guy, like he's the new Mike Tyson. He thinks he's Mike Tyson. The shit's not gonna work. You feel me? And fighting that kind of style for the first 6 rounds, he's gonna be dead in the last 6 rounds because he believes like you. He thinks he can get him out of there early. He's not. He wants to be a pay-per-view star, but you got to do it in a better way. Sometimes you got to knock him out in the 12th round. You cannot knock everybody out early in the fight. You have to outbox them because you got to get the scorecard straight. He has to worry about the scorecards, and I believe Cambosis is gonna dominate those scorecards.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna
mean,
dominate. He's gonna be
what makes you
boxing.
say that
He's going to be boxing.
Cambosis can keep Teofimo Lopez at distance? What makes you say that that Cambosis can actually box with Teofimo? Because Teofimo can punch with you. Teo's the sort of fight that will punch with you.
Man, Teofimo can punch a little bit, but I don't think nobody's scared of that punch. Because like I said, Lomachenko, he didn't even have no arms for like 7 rounds, like you say, and he still couldn't get knocked out. Come on, man, there's no power. It looks good. It looks damn good, but he don't have no power when it comes to the elite boxers. He's not gonna knock these guys out.
Yeah, but now
he didn't knock out Comey?
What'd you say to Johnny Blaze? Johnny Blaze says that Lomachenko didn't get involved and he actually stayed away and, kept his distance. And that's why Teofimo Lopez couldn't knock him out. If Lomachenko would have got involved, Teofimo probably would have knocked him out. So if Cambosis gets involved, he's going to sleep. So say if Cambosis gets in survival mode, say if George Cambosis, starts to feel that power, and then all that game plan that he's got is coming out the window. Do you know what I'm saying? He's going to start staying on the back foot. He might go into survival mode. I mean,
yeah, but that won't last. That won't be no rest of the fight type of thing. He's not a bitch like that. He's more of a pain freak than what you think he is. You know what I mean? So that's what's gonna shock you. He pretty much has some of that Canelo in him. You know how Canelo Alvarez.
What, George
I mean,
Kambosos has Canelo in him?
he has a little bit of him. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, it sounds crazy, but put it like this: the real Australians don't necessarily look like the real original Australian. He he's a pale Australian, just like Canelo's not the real Mexican, but he's a pale Mexican. But boy, they represent their country well because they tough, just like Canelo's tough, like Mexicans really are. They are. They're the toughest sob. You know, they're the toughest motherfuckers out there. Damn near.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
being
being
honest.
pale doesn't make you better.
I know that, but I'm saying they are the albino rhinos. They're the albino rhinos for their respective countries. You feel me? And I like them. Like out of those, you know what I'm saying? Those are my choices. When it comes to that, you know, Australia, I'm rocking with Cambosos.
Hey,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
there's somebody in the chat, right? I think his name's Reptile. Why don't you come on the panel, Reptile? And Reptile says, I'm Australian, but I'm laughing my fucking head off right now. I mean, hey, listen, that means D Calico has got
Yep.
more faith in the Australian fighter than
Yep.
what the Australian fan has. And you see what I'm saying? I mean,
Man,
Teofimo
look,
Lopez is that guy, though, isn't he? I mean, you
no,
just can't go against him right now.
So
I mean,
no.
practically, Teofimo, you think Haney will beat him? You think Cambosos will beat him? You you think Ryan Garcia probably will beat him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Look. Just like no, bro. Watch this, bro. Just like he can beat them, they can beat him, bro. You know that. You know that.
Well, I think it could
It's
you're
not.
happen in
funny,
boxing,
dude.
but I mean,
No. I mean, like if they fought 6 times, he probably would be lucky if he split with either one of these guys you just named.
but what have they shown you that they could do that?
Oh, they can
What
Yeah.
have
box.
the other
All of them.
guys shown you? Tell
Who?
me. Either one, Ryan, Haney, or
They
Cambosa. What have
can
they
box.
shown you
They
they
can
could box?
box. They can
Well,
box.
obviously
Now,
Ryan Garcia not all that great boxer. He's okay. He got some power.
no. He got power.
Cambosa.
He got power. His defense is not awesome, but his boxing is awesome.
Well, yeah, but you definitely need defense to fight against
Well,
a
yeah.
pretty good defense to fight against
That's why
Teofimo.
you have to respect Haney. Then you have to do that.
Well, he got the defense. Haney got the defense. The offense, okay, but he got the defense though. You see what I'm saying?
Man,
His offense is good. Now, once he get his man strength, then yeah, Haney's gonna be dangerous, more dangerous. But he doesn't have it yet.
mhm.
That's what I truly believe. He's
See,
skilled. He's skilled, but he just doesn't have the man strength yet.
Well, let's
he can
go to
only.
the chat, right? Listen, D Calico, Joni Blazers, everyone's listening. I wanna kind of consider their opinions as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's
So
true.
listen, Senpei saying it's not a mismatch. Cambosis is a solid opponent. He didn't put himself there for no reason. But the
Mhm.
stylistically, Cambosis falls into Teofimo's counter punching. The problem is with Cambosis, because he sometimes comes forward, he's gonna fall into that counter punches that Teofimo Lopez punches really well. That very calculated gets those counters off. So I mean, what do you think about that, D Calico? I mean,
Man,
he's gonna at some point, Cambosis is gonna have to trade with Teo, and when he trades with Teofimo, he's just gonna, you know what I mean? He won't be able to take the power. Do you
Exactly.
believe it? Do you believe that?
no, I don't believe that. And
Why?
and and the
Why
best,
not?
I'm saying the best thing about a Cambosis is he's never been in a match where he wasn't the underdog. You know what I mean? So to to still be here after all of that, like this guy has got to be, you know, he's got to have tougher skin than we can imagine. You know, like I think everybody who's ever fought him has underestimated him, and they paid the price.
Yeah.
And I think this is no different. It's not to say now. I think let's say he beats Teofimo and has to fight Haney. Haney would have to take him very fucking serious because nobody has taken him serious, and he's made them all pay.
So okay, Joni Diaz, he's got a very good point in this respect. Everybody's looking past Cambosis. Teofimo's dad, when we spoke to him, he's not even giving a fuck about this opponent. He's talking about Josh Taylor and Devin Haney. Teofimo Lopez is not really talking about Cambosis. He's more interested in his next fight if he fights Devin Haney. I mean, is that a big mistake? Like D
Well,
Calico
that
saying that
that
that's a mistake.
he has a point right there, but that's another thing too. That's what I was saying at first.
Yeah.
But what people's not paying attention is that the only reason Teofimo's talking about the other fighters, or or it looks like that because of people are asking them the interviewers are asking him the questions about the other fighters, and he, some people just don't know when to hey, no, I'm focused right here, but like I said, we'll see
No.
on the 19th, and
Hey, watch.
I really think you're actually underestimating Teofimo of what he's done and all that stuff. I think you just
So
don't like him.
so
No.
Andre in the chat says D Calico is praying for an upset, but I want D Calico to come back after the fight, and then
Yep.
he's gonna see how dumb he sounds
Look.
Agree,
Hey,
bro.
hey.
after Tio knocks his guy out.
Look. A year ago, I had all those same comments when I said Teofimo is going to be Lomachenko. I said that on Rap Star. I said that right here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I sounded crazy. I remember Rap Star going, "Whoa! Did you hear this? This man just said, that Lomachenko is going to lose to a young boxer.
yeah.
Teofimo, and I just went with it. I liked it. And right now, it's not the same. I've never seen a guy get. I guess he never had nothing. I guess Teofimo never had nothing, and now he got millions overnight. I think he's basically looking like the old Errol Spence. Just in one day. I mean, like he was not like that. He was more dedicated, more. You don't have to be so humble. But the point was he was humble and he was more dedicated and just a grind. He was just grinding. You feel me? But now it's like saying Antonio Brown. He was awesome, even as a young player, but he was quiet, he was humble, peaceful. Then he got that big money. Antonio Brown was hell. He was hell to deal with. You feel me? And Teofimo is already like flamboyant, fat, like overnight. He's
But
got
why can you
overnight
say
flashes.
then? Why can you say the same thing instead of Antonio Brown? Why can you say a Mayweather?
No,
When
Mayweather took
when
time.
Mayweather got the money, he acted that way. But guess what? He still ended up in defeat.
No, he didn't do it
Hey, you just
overnight.
said
Let's
he's
be honest.
flamboyant and with the
Yeah.
money and all that stuff, right? You
Look,
just said that.
look,
We're keeping it
Floyd,
boxing, then Floyd would be in that, not Antonio, because
he
it's two different
he
sports.
Floyd showed everybody how to do it. If you're gonna do it, this is how you do it. Floyd had been to the Olympics. He had been at that whole pretty boy era. He was not flamboyant, but he talked this shit and he backed it up. Now that was the one thing. But he got flamboyant once he got all the money. You're right. There's no lie. But
But
why is Teofimo doing it already?
Okay, but you guess what? Teofimo is what? He's 23 or something like that, right? With 16 fight, right? And right now he has all the belts, right?
Nope.
Okay, regardless, if you don't, let's not count WBC. Let's forget about that one. All right, let's just forget about that one. 16 fights with 3 belts and the lineal champion, right? Which that's the most prestige, that the probably the best belt to have, the lineal, because that makes you the best one in that weight class, right? Still, even if you take the WBC, why, you feel me? Look what he accomplished. And then he fought people thinking that he only fought 3 fighters that were top 10. He actually fought 4 fighters that were top 10, but people don't know that. People don't pay attention. He fought Magdaleno when Magdaleno was top 10. Not saying he was the best one, but he was top 10 at the time that he fought him. But people forgot about that.
So right now, somebody wants to know in the chat, Snape wants to know, how much respect will you give Teofimo Lopez if he knocks out Kambosos D Calico?
I would give him his due. I would say, he's as good as I initially, when I first heard this fight was announced. That was my initial vision in my head. I'm like, man, he gonna knock him out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, hold up, let me make sure this is the same fight I thought it was, and I was actually mistaken by the names. But I have seen him fight before. I just had his name mistaken, and I like Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? I always thought he was a gritty little fighter. He reminds me of a Ricky Hatton. You know what I mean? Like, I really think they're in trouble. I'm not saying he's a hard. He's I don't know. We all feel like Teofimo's not gonna get knocked out. We all pretty much know that, but that don't mean he's not gonna get outboxed. He's gonna get outboxed. He's gonna get outclassed. It's gonna make the Haneys and the Ryan Garcia. They're gonna be drooling when they see his boxing, not his fighting. We all know he can fight.
So
His
George
boxing.
George James says, let's not be biased. Teofimo Lopez is multi-dimensional. He has lots of skills, and you know what I mean. At the end of the day, if he wasn't that great, he wouldn't have beat Lomachenko. What you gonna
Facts.
say about that, D Calico?
Facts.
No, no, man. This man was playing. This man was in there with a bum shoulder. Whether it happened in the fight or before the fight, whatever. Obviously it had to happen before, but that wasn't the same Lomachenko. Like, come on, man.
Can I tell you something though? Can I tell you
Lomachenko's
something?
man. But who's a better technician? Tell me that. Who's a better technician than Lomachenko?
Ain't nobody probably. He's probably one of the best
You know what I'm saying?
technician wise.
But did he bring that day? He can beat Teofimo. He couldn't beat him that day. He couldn't beat nobody that day. Anybody would have whooped his ass. That was the right day.
So
That's
as soon as
funny.
you said that, then so that means that then you shouldn't give credit to a tank to a Haney when they beat Gamboas then. Right?
Gamboa.
You shouldn't. No, you shouldn't get credit. And look what happened in the second round. He got injured against Tank. Then the fight obviously.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. I know what you're talking about. I don't respect that one. That's not
even with Haney and Gamboa. Even with Haney and
But
Gamboa.
Haney didn't do that. But Haney didn't do it. He was not injured when Haney
What do you
fought him.
mean he had a surgery? He had a surgery and obviously that completely not Gamboa at all.
Hey, we
that
got
was years ago.
people in the building right now. They're joining us on the panel. How you guys feeling out there, man?
Doing well. This is What Rep It. Calico, shout out to you. Is that Transcendent Sport on the panel too?
No, that's Joni Diaz. He's one of the brothers from the other side.
Oh, sweet. Johnny Diaz,
Hey,
also
what's up,
Rap
brother?
Star. Hey, what's
Hey, what's
up?
up,
You
brother?
guys are killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no one's
What do you
given a
think,
chance
bro?
to.
I mean, D Calico thinks that Kambosos is going to pull up the upset. He's one of very, very small amount of boxing fans that think that Kambosos can pull up the upset. Do you think
All right.
Kambosos is going to do a better fight than a lot of people think he is?
I think he's gonna do a better fight purely on this reason. How many fights has Teofimo fought in the inside?
Yeah, Nakatani was on the inside.
How do you look on that one?
He didn't look good.
Yeah, but
Horrible.
it's completely
Horrible.
different too. You talk about someone with height,
No,
someone
but
that is just physically,
we're not
mentally
talking.
strong.
I'm not. All right, let me finish.
Inside.
I'm not talking
Let the
about
man
height or
finish,
anything.
bro.
Yeah, I'm talking about inside boxing. I have not seen Teofimo's inside boxing game, and that's something that Kambosos is proficient in. He's pretty good in the inside from what I've seen in the pocket. One time I did see him in the pocket was when Lomachenko closed distance on him in the later rounds.
Yeah.
When he closed distance on Teofimo in the later rounds, he kind of was getting to him. How many guys here would bet on Teofimo versus Lomachenko? How many people would bet 100% that Teofimo would beat Lomachenko again? I don't think many would. I think it's a 50-50
Like, a lot of
fight
people
still.
think that Lomachenko can beat Teofimo. No.
I think that if Teofimo fought Lomachenko again, Lomachenko would get him. So it's I was gonna bet on this fight. I think the line was 800 plus 800 for Kambosos.
Oh damn.
I was gonna put money on Kambosos, but it's been dropping. Teofimo's still the favorite, but let's not say that we've seen all of Teofimo's game. He still has some game to show us, especially the inside fighting. I'm not convinced about the inside fighting yet.
Mm-hmm.
I see your point, and for me, like I don't know when you got here, I did say it's gonna be an exciting fight. I've been watching Kambosos for a long time, and I did say, and at first I thought, oh man, Kambosos can probably win. Teofimo is very he was distracted at first, but then I started seeing who he got in the team. Rubio. I don't know if you know his style, the way he coaches, his inside defense, the head movements, the way that the IQ and everything, all that thing will boost. Now we'll see if he could do it in the fight. We'll see, but with the Lomo situation, I mean, yeah, I mean, 50% thinks that he will easily win, 50% think that Lomo. But see, that's a fair thing to say because Lomos is proven also. He's proven. He fought the best or whoever was available at the time. He's proven. So we could say that. But when there's other fighters that haven't really been proven, and for to say that, this is a different story. So with that, I don't argue with you. I agree with you on that point.
Another thing I noticed about Teofimo's game, and I don't know if everybody else on the panel has noticed it, he doesn't seem to attack the body at all.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's not a boxer. He's not a pure boxer.
yeah, somebody who doesn't attack the body in a 12, if it goes 12 rounds, that tends to affect someone. That's why Nakatani was having so much success, because he wasn't getting hit to the body, so he was able to withstand any type of flurry.
True, but he did it to Lomo though. He did land a lot of punches in the body to Lomo, which had Lomo jumping a bit.
The punches Teofimo was landing on Loma were not punches that Teofimo was sitting down on. There's a difference between throwing a body punch when you're throwing a jab to the solar plex, than to a punch when you sit down and throw it as a hook.
True.
Teofimo does not throw punches to the body when you sit down on it, meaning in the pocket. Usually, you have to be in the pocket to throw those types of body blows. That's another thing I want to see him display.
But you could also throw body. You know that you could also throw body to distract. Because if you only throw heads, then it's easy to defend. So you sometimes it's just like the jab. Sometimes you throw the jab just to distract the person, or.
But somebody in the
control.
chat says George James says that Teofimo Lopez learned a lot from. Like, you got to look at it. What he's saying is he learned a lot from that fight, and if he couldn't fight in the pocket, at the end of the day, he found the answer and he won.
True.
So at the end of the day, is Teofimo Lopez a much better fighter than what he was when he fought Nakatani? And did the Lomachenko win also do a lot for Teofimo Lopez? Because we all can say that the Richard Comey fight, some people think that, Richard Comey put himself there for that punch. And Richard Comey got brave. Like, Richard Comey thought that he's going to take Teofimo Lopez out.
Exactly.
But he got brave and he paid the price.
He didn't.
So is that punch? Let me ask this question. Is that punch with Teofimo Lopez with Richard Comey, is that a lucky punch? Because I wouldn't say it is.
Oh, no.
Because also Teofimo Lopez knocked out many previous opponents like that in previous fights. So.
Oh, no. You can't say it's lucky. It's hard to say it's a lucky punch when you're a professional boxer. You already have a lot of fights under your belt, to be honest. Everybody's people don't read. You gotta see the fight. Just like with Tank, it's a setup. You set them up. You start reading what they're doing. You start reading and you catch it. And guess what? Then eventually they show a video later on where they've been practicing the same punch. But how could they be a luck? It's luck when it's probably in the streets, a street fight.
So let me ask this question to you, Joni Diaz.
Yes.
And this is a very, very... Say if George Kambosos can take Teofimo Lopez's punch power, does the fight change now? Does Teo need to box? I mean, let's go to anyone on that. Has anyone got an answer for that?
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm getting to with the body punches. When you go for 12 rounds, when someone can take your punches, your power punches and usually the power punch we're talking about with Teofimo is to the face. When they can take your power punches, it's going to be a 12-round fight. You will not be able to wear them down if you're not hitting them with power body shots. Something else that we need to take into consideration is the weight class. The more natural 135 pounder at this point is Kambosos. I think Teofimo has grown like an inch since his fight versus Comey. He's an inch high, and also his muscle mass has gained. So he's going to be very drained in this. This is his final 135-pound matchup, I believe. He's going to be very drained in this fight. It's going to be a battle. I don't think people should judge him if it goes 12 rounds, because there's a lot of things that we're talking about right now that are going to go into this fight, right? So I don't think it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be a war. Now, he might get judged saying, "Oh, look, he's getting exposed," but he's not getting exposed in that sense. He's just getting exposed in the sense that when you fight, the more fights you fight, the more weapons you have to use, and the more weapons you have to show. So this is going to be a fight where Teofimo is going to have to show the inside, the body work, and also his game plan for 12-round fight, which he didn't have in the Loma fight, right? The later rounds versus Loma, you can see he was deteriorating. So this is where he's going to show everything.
Yeah, but a lot of fighters that Teofimo Lopez has already handled and beaten, a lot of people say they're better than Kambosos. Like, a lot of people think Nakatani is better than Kambosos. Richard Comey, they say, can probably beat Kambosos. People feel like, of course, you beat Lomachenko. I mean, at the end of the day, it's very fair to say that, you know what I mean? It's very hard to see how Kambosos can win this fight. And look, if you watch the fight with Lee Selby, it's very fair to say that Kambosos had some hard rounds in there. And Lee Selby was never a good one. Lee Selby was a 126 pounder.
Exactly.
Exactly. Hey, Rap.
Yeah.
Hey, Rap. Who would win between Mickey Bay and Comey?
I mean, that's a good fight, bro.
At what point? At what point, though?
No, what I'm saying is that's Kambosos and Teofimo's opponent. You know, those are two guys they fought. You feel me? So to say that he couldn't.
Yeah, but at what point?
So I'm saying, like, to say that Kambosos can't beat Comey is almost laughable. I think he can. I think he could.
Ooh, you forgot who was Comey, though. You forgot you was Comey.
Some boxing fans think this is crazy talk, even to think that Kambosos can beat Teofimo Lopez. Well, this is fucking boxing.
That's true.
True that.
This ain't no fucking swimming, dude.
Yeah, this ain't play. You can't play, but you can't
play fucking boxing out here, bro.
Exactly.
No, tell me some upsets. Give me some upsets that people never thought that this fighter was gonna beat this fighter.
Valdez is a good shirt.
Give me some upsets. Like, if Kambosos is like a big underdog, right? Now, what other fighters have we had in the past, like big underdogs?
Lara versus Warrington.
I would say Andy Ruiz, and
Lara versus
Warrington. Look at Andy Ruiz. He beat fucking Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
What about when Lloyd Hunnigan years ago, he came to America and beat the pound for pound guy, Donald Curry? Nobody thought that was gonna happen, right? So there is always an underdog can sometimes. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, bro. You know what I mean? But there's been underdogs that have come out on top.
True. I mean, look at Chavez Sr. versus Frankie Randall, which I called it. I told everybody he was gonna win.
Hey, I'm talking about Juan Manuel Marquez
versus who?
Pacquiao.
That's true.
What about when Jeff Horn? What about when Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao? Nobody believed that. Nobody
that was
ever
a little
thought that Jeff Horn was gonna fucking beat Manny Pacquiao, did they?
Well, that's true.
Look at Lara versus Warrington.
Yeah.
Yeah, who the fuck thought that guy who they bring from Mexico on a quick, short term, right? And give him hardly any time to train, and he beat the fuck out of Josh Warrington.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody thought, and now that guy's become famous. He's the guy now.
He killed my parlay. That guy. I was like, shit. I had Warrington as an easy win, and freaking Lara just knocked him out and killed my whole parlay for.
What about what about who's this hardcore boxing fan? I know D Calico remembers this when Ricardo Mayorga beat Vernon Forrest. Nobody.
Yes, agree. Yeah, I remember.
Hey, I know
fight.
you remember this. Hey, Rap, I know you remember Ramon and Lewis.
Oh, Rockman when he beat him the first fight.
Oh yeah,
who the fuck ever thought Rockman would beat Lennox Lewis? Nobody.
But you see, you guys see something? That pattern, what you guys saying with the upset? Upset, usually because they got knocked out, they had the power to knock him down, to knock him out. That was the upset, and now most of other upsets was because of the knockout.
Have we seen Teofimo's chin tested yet?
Yeah, and one thing about Kambosos, he has a definite chin. Like he just gets meaner. You like when you rock him, you like I expected him to wobble or stumble. He just gets meaner.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I'm
Lee
saying? He don't throw
Selby
no.
and
Yeah, but to be
Lee
fair,
Selby
yeah,
and Mikey and I mean and Bay, they were never known for a power puncher either. You
yeah,
feel me?
but to be really fair, yeah, all these upsets you've been talking about, the biggest upset ever was Buster Douglas against beating
Yeah,
Mike Tyson,
Yup,
yeah,
right?
most definitely.
Yeah.
Most
That
definitely.
day when that happened,
Hell yeah.
that shook the world. That shook
Yeah,
the world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I try not to bring that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts.
That was the worst. That was the worst.
Hey, what about this one? Maybe we could compare it to this fight. Roy
Ooh,
Jones versus Tarver.
Carver. I
okay.
was just gonna say
That was
it. I read
Right?
your
Right?
mind, bro. I
Right?
read your
Because
mind. Hey, I
Tarver
was just
was
gonna say
good,
that.
but a lot of people didn't know about him.
No,
You
I
feel
didn't
no.
me?
Put it
believe
like
him.
this, bro. Roy Jones hadn't lost a fight since Little League when he fought Antonio Tarver, as like 12 or
Exactly.
13-year-old.
Exactly.
You feel me?
That
So
was
they had to
crazy.
go get him.
So
That was
would
And
it
only
be
crazy.
reason
fair to say after the Tyson one, right? If Cambosis beats Teofimo Lopez, that's a major upset then.
yeah.
That's a big
For
upset,
for
bro.
boxing for on I think probably for casual, the one that don't follow Camposis. Because like I said, I mean only because I think Teofimo will
No,
win in the
it's
later
a huge
rounds, it
upset.
doesn't mean Camposis is sorry. He's
It's
good.
gonna be the
I told
upset of
everybody he's better than Ryan Garcia skills wise.
The
hey, Johnny
betting line is
D.
going. The betting line is heading towards Cambosis. People are starting to bet on Cambosis right now, so that tells you that it's not as big as an upset as it was a week
Hey,
ago. A week
hey,
ago,
Well,
like I
it
hey,
said,
watch
tends to
this.
be like that because
Hey, Johnny
when the
D.
fight gets
Hey, Johnny.
closer. Yeah.
Hey, Johnny D.
Yeah, yeah, what's up, brother?
See what I'm gonna say is like all of the fights that we have lined up for the rest of the year. You cannot name a situation where if a guy wins is more of an upset than Cambosa. There's
Let
not
me
a
give
fight
you
that
Montiel,
another huge
Oh.
upset. Let me
Montiel
give
versus
you
Charlo.
another huge upset,
Castrano
bro.
versus
Nigel
the
Benn, when Nigel Benn beat Gerald McKellen, the pound for pound guy.
Oh yes.
Who's ever seen that fight where Nigel Benn beat the Gerald McKellen, Don King's #1 pound for pound fighter?
That was unexpected. That was a
That was
long time ago.
unexpected.
A long time
Nobody
ago.
thought that
Man, I
was
was
gonna
little.
happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a
I mean, D Calico, this is true, you know. Teofimo Lopez is a very strong favorite. This is gonna shock the boxing world. If what you're saying, D Calico,
Yep,
if
yep.
what you're saying, if any of that comes to truth, that Cambosis can pull out this win, especially in America. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is the Teofimo Lopez Entertainment Triller card. They got
Mm-hmm.
Meek Mills. They got Meek Mills on the card. They got J Lo, Jennifer Lopez on there.
Gente de Zona.
You know what I
San
mean? They got that. Yeah, this is a Teofimo Lopez big event, bro. They got
Hey,
Snoop Dogg on this. You know what I'm saying? So
that,
this is nothing to do with Cambosis. Cambosis is coming like a really in reality. All the money's on Teo. Cambosis is just coming as a dummy opponent.
a rap
Mm-hmm.
star,
Let's keep this shit real, bro. So
rap
if he
star,
pulls this out, D Calico, that's a major upset.
rap star. It's
Yeah.
what rep it. How many pay-per-views do you think Teofimo's gonna sell? I don't think he's gonna sell many.
No.
Wow, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, you got Jamal Charlo fighting on the same day. You've got is it true Inoue fighting on the same day?
Yeah.
Nate Diaz versus your British brethren is fighting on the UFC pay-per-view that same
Oh,
day.
Leon Edwards.
Leon
Leon
Edwards.
Edwards.
Yeah, but you got them UFC fan are gonna rather watch that fight, and then you got the real boxing fans gonna watch the boxing fight, regardless what fight they watch. So it's
On
two different
Triller,
crowds.
but on Triller, man.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, but I mean, what Charlo's fighting Montiel, nobody knows. Inoue is fighting a fighter that's not even now that great. Then now there's another fight that is actually good. I forgot who was the other fight. There was 4 fights for that.
Oh no, the UFC one is actually this week, so he got that. He doesn't have to deal with it.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
right. Yeah,
mean,
because
to
it's on
be
the 12th.
fair, I think he's got to do at least over 300,000 anyway. I'm hoping, right?
That's
If he
fair.
doesn't hit 300,000, then everything's a failure. And I'm saying 300,000 is a failure, really.
I
You're
think a lot
saying
of
it.
people in Miami is gonna support it though. I mean, Miami has Florida has a big crowd. I mean, keep in mind that's somewhere where Cambos has been training for his last 6 fights, and
You know what's
Hey,
guys? You
watch
know what's
this.
crazy?
yeah,
You know what's crazy? The Logan Paul versus Mayweather fight. I saw some numbers. They say it did about 639,000.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
But
So
that's
you
not
think
much. That's not
that's
much
what I'm
for.
saying? So
No,
it's
no,
in.
no, no. They
yeah,
say
but
in
that's not a
America.
real boxing match. A
No,
lot of
no.
people
They
wasn't
say
supporting it. Only
no. They say in
celebrities.
America. In America alone, those are the numbers in America.
Those are the numbers for Teofimo. Is what I'm saying. He's gonna have to deal with 639 because it's like an American market for the
Yeah,
most part for
yeah,
Kambosos versus
yeah.
Teofimo.
Yeah.
So think about it. How's Teofimo gonna get 630 something thousand when not even Mayweather or Logan Paul could get that?
Yeah, but I mean, we can't
Hey,
compare it to that one because that's different. That's exhibition, and not a lot of people actually wanted to support it. But you have a
hey.
lot of celebrities that
So let me
was to
ask
support
this
it.
though: does anybody believe what Teofimo Lopez is saying though? Like Teofimo Lopez is saying, you guys better watch out. I'm knocking this fucking man out in 3 rounds. Now
I
I
I'm
don't
believe he
believe
means
asking
that.
it.
you this.
I believe he means it.
No, okay. Do you think Teofimo Lopez is gonna go for it in the 3rd round? That's the
Third round.
question.
First round.
No,
It's
he's
going
been
12
telling
rounds,
everybody
guys.
it's gonna be the 3rd round.
I got
He's
to go
gonna
in 12
waste his.
rounds.
He's gonna waste all his energy in the first couple
No, I
rounds.
don't think so either. I don't think so
Mm.
because if the other guy realized that, and let's just say, for example, he decides to just move around and just box and makes it hard to get hit, and then let's just say he's fighting to survive, it's always harder. So he shouldn't focus on knocking him out with a punch. He should just throw his combos, and eventually one of those are gonna land and hurt him. Eventually.
That's who's gonna win with the combo. The combos are gonna come from Cambosos. That's what his name means. His name means combos. Combos. Yeah, that's what it
But he
means. I'm
can't stay in
telling
the
you.
pocket though. The bad thing is that
This
he can't stay in the pocket too long.
this man George combos. He been putting them combos on his head.
Hey,
That's a good
what do you
one.
guys think? What do you guys
That's a
think
good one.
about the way Teofimo's dad and Teofimo have tried selling the fight? They're not trying to sell it to us, and he's saying that Kambosos is shit. So why would people want to buy it if he's saying that Kambosos is shit and nothing special?
Yeah.
He should have sold it to where he's saying Kambosos is a fearsome and we're gonna have a fight. But instead,
Yeah.
he's making
Yeah.
people not want to buy it by just
But
saying
in
this
what
is
TV
shit.
and what interviews? Because he also depends. You gotta understand, fighters have their preference on who they want to talk to and open up to and be exclusive, right? Some of them like certain people, and some of them like, I don't want to talk to this guy. I'm gonna just say whatever. And sometimes it's just your emotion. When you're mad or you're in the mood or you go into whatever, you're gonna say all the negative. You're gonna just diss another person. But when you really sit back and you're like, okay, hold on, this is business now. Let me boom, boom, boom. Now they start saying different things. It's just whatever you feel in that moment.
Nah.
It
Nah.
happened to every fighter.
Nah.
It happened to every
No. He
fighter.
consistent. I told you. He's on a new level. Like he's bougie right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what
But is it a
his
bad? But
ego.
is it a bad thing if he backs it up? Is it a bad thing if he backs it up?
No, it's still bad. It's still bad. What I said is shit talking is good if you back it up. Not
Okay,
not
but
saying
we gotta wait to see.
not
We
saying
gotta wait to see.
just not saying I'm gonna knock you out and doing that. That's good. You know, I can rock with that. But it's just a lot of that stuff be unnecessary. It's just like how Devin Haney's dad is like. I feel like he's trying to push him to be something he shouldn't. As far as
Agreed.
like with the mouth, he's trying to make his son mouthy. Nobody
Agreed.
likes nobody likes a
Wow,
mouthy ass man. You feel me?
speaking facts right
And
now, man.
and I
Well,
feel like
depends.
Devin. I'm saying Devin is so great.
Yeah.
People like us will appreciate him more. Just shutting up and doing the job. Shut up and just do the
Yeah.
job. You know,
Because
like
he's more of a
be
quieter
a
person.
better
Yeah.
be a better Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah, I agree.
because you can't be better than him in the ring, but you can be better than him outside the ring. You know?
Exactly.
And that's not his personality, right? His dad's like trying to make a personality
Yeah,
that it's
Exactly.
not.
yeah.
It's
He's trying
not
to
him,
push on.
man.
That's the
Yeah,
issue.
like him and Ryan Garcia don't have no problem, but his dad wanted him to just be disrespectful. Man, Ryan Garcia showed him respect after winning a match. He still just couldn't come in to terms of disrespecting Devin Haney. But his dad wanted him, man, you should have slapped that bitch. You know,
I
just
heard that.
stupid shit, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you wouldn't have made us happy, the fans. We wouldn't. Ooh, yeah, look what he did. We wouldn't have been happy. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, just like we were talking about Logan Paul and all them, and the numbers they making those numbers because what? They are social media, influencers or whatever. Man,
True.
out of all boxers, nobody has a social media presence like Ryan Garcia. He's gonna be the next big fight. That's why they pumping him up right now. They saying he's the best of the young fighters because this guy has the Logan Paul factor and he can box. So come knock him out and get some money.
Facts.
If you can, because this man has the best body punch in his division. You feel
Well,
me?
I'm
Like,
gonna
have you
say this, yeah. I'm gonna make a statement right now. I don't think nobody can beat Teofimo Lopez at lightweight division apart from one man, and I'm gonna show you who he is. There's nobody, right, that I reckon can beat Teofimo Lopez at lightweight. You know what I'm saying? Apart from this guy. This is the guy that I still tell.
Did it froze?
I think it froze. I don't remember which guy it was.
Yeah, I
what I
didn't see
told?
the
Hey,
picture.
no, read that comment right there.
Okay, what's up?
Gabon chili recipes. Hmm? He
Yeah.
said Cambosos is not to be underestimated. One of my guys sparred him a few years back, and what I can say is Cambosos has speed, power, and has elite punch resistance. I think To wins tough, wins though.
Though.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's good to think that he'll still win. That's understandable, but get this man his
Ooh.
respect.
I said Lomachenko beats Teofimo
Now, this is the guy that I still think is the boogeyman, and I still think he can beat Teofimo Lopez.
Has a
if I
chance.
was if I was any of the younger guys, I wouldn't fight Lomachenko. That's why that Teofimo
Yeah,
is saying I don't want to fight him no more. I think
Now,
Lomachenko would beat him.
Lomachenko said this the other day, right? Rhett
they
has
too
said this
young.
the other day. He said, I want the rematch, but he said they're not going to fight me. He said the reason why they're not going to fight me, they knew. Now, this is what he says. He goes, they knew when I figured Teofimo out. He goes, I knew it was just too late for me. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
Facts.
man.
now, do we agree that? Do you think he had that bad shoulder that fucked him up, and
Mm,
you all saw
Yeah,
him have a surgery and all that shit?
I
Do you
think
exactly.
think? Do you think
I
this
think
guy he was unlucky that day? What do you think?
I think Lomachenko's corner they figured they were watching the highlights and they figured, wait a minute, let's see this guy's power, right? We're gonna fill him out the first rounds, and
No
actually
way.
that hurt
oh,
them. That hurt them.
oh.
The feeling out Teofimo hurt them. And so once they caught wind of his actual power during the later rounds,
Yeah.
they basically took it to him, and Teofimo didn't have an answer for it. But that's what actually
Look,
happened.
what?
I think.
Hey, bro, there is no reason that Teofimo didn't knock him out except that he can't. You know what I mean? He had all the opportunities in the world. Do you
He
think?
couldn't.
No, I'm saying, do you think Linares would have needed that many opportunities to knock him out?
Mm.
Like Linares would have put him in the bed. You know what
Linares
I mean?
has
Uh,
That's the thing. Linares has an inside game, as you saw when he hit Devin. He got him. He got those. He hit him with the hook from the inside. Teofimo doesn't have an inside game. That's what I've been saying, and I
Mhm.
think it's going to
Yeah.
get exposed at some point in his career if he doesn't rectify it.
true, but you gotta understand, every fight improved by fights. Maybe he didn't have it. Maybe he does have it this time. They could improve. But now Linares landed a perfect punch.
Mm.
It wasn't that it was the hardest. If you see, it wasn't the hardest punch, but it was a perfect punch. And he
Man,
didn't wobble. He dropped him with a good, perfect punch. It didn't hurt because he got back up and then he started dominating the fight. Right?
look, it wasn't. It was just well timed. It was the timing he
Yeah,
put on it.
perfect.
But what I'm saying is, all his punches are that strong. Is what I'm saying. Every punch he throws is that strong. And
Well,
and I'm gonna be honest with you. Not
So
not
let me
one
ask you this.
Teofimo
Let me
punch
ask
was
everybody
that.
this, and everybody that fucking like button, man. Let's cook. Do you think Lomachenko beats Nakatani better than Teofimo does?
Yes,
That's the
Ooh,
question.
that's a
Is
I'm
tough
saying
one.
it.
Lomachenko gonna put a beating on Nakatani, or is Nakatani gonna make it difficult? Now, if
If
No, I
Loma
got.
beats Nakatani better than Teofimo, then everybody's gonna say they want that fight again. What do you think about this?
I got Lomachenko stopping Nakatani in the later rounds
ooh,
Explain how.
because he's gonna outbox him and he's gonna do what Teofimo doesn't do. He's go to the body. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Nakatani did not get hit to the body at all with no power punches, so he was just standing there and taking everything. Lomachenko actually is a technician and will hit to the body. He's
Yeah.
gonna drain him, and in the later rounds, he's gonna take him out.
I I I kind of disagree on like the way you make it sound like he's just gonna knock him out. I believe that if we all pay attention to Lomachenko, a style to make it difficult, it's someone that roughs him up, which Nakatani could do. He got the height, he's tough, he's mentally and physically strong. He could rough him up, make it difficult. Now Loma will win, but all rounds will be very close. But he will win. It will kind of be like a Mosley versus Miguel Cotto. Every round was close, but you know that Cotto won it, or at least the
I'm gonna,
majority.
I'm gonna
I
tell you
think it's
something sneaky that nobody knows. No one has paid attention to about Nakatani's last fight, which he barely won. Did you know that during the interviews with Top Rank and ESPN before his fight, he was passing out because he could not make the weight. He was passing out. He was passing out literally in front of the broadcasters. That's what the broadcaster said. He said Nakatani was actually passing out right here in front of us because he was so weight drained.
Really?
So they know this, and that's the reason. I'm not disparaging Nakatani, but I think that is one of the reasons he's gonna get stopped in the later rounds. He cannot
Yeah.
make this weight no more.
But that could go with training. Go with training. He probably just didn't have a great training, a conditioner, a conditioning coach.
No.
For this fight, he could probably be like, we don't know that. We don't know who's in his corner at this point. At this point, he
No.
probably have
No.
someone that is. You
Hey,
feel
what
me?
I'm
That
saying
is.
is, watch this. Hey, your body is majority water. What do you expect him to lose? He can't lose anything else. You feel me? Do you want him to lose complete muscle? You feel me? He can't if he being drained, then he don't have the proper amount of water in his body. He's gonna be, dehydrated. He's gonna die in the ring, man.
Yeah,
Like
but staying disciplined throughout even when you're not fighting, staying close to your weight, even before even having a fight, that
he's
helps.
too big. He needs to go up. I think he's scared. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I,
Like I don't
I I
know.
don't see that, man. I don't see no. I never seen the Asian person or anything like that. He's Japanese or anything being scared of anything like that, man. I don't think so.
That's his problem. He doesn't know. He doesn't. He's too much of a warrior that he keeps on trying to cut that weight, man. I think he's not. He's very vulnerable. I think, in my opinion, for Lomachenko to take him out in the later rounds. And I didn't say KO. I said TKO, meaning technical knockout.
Yeah,
I think
I got
he's
you. No,
gonna
I
give
got
it
you. I
a.
got you.
Okay, my question is this right now then. And we all saw Devin Haney versus Linares. We saw
Mhm.
Devin Haney skill Linares. We saw him using the jab. When he
Yeah,
used the jab, the 1-2 jab, it
the
seemed to
best.
do really well for him. But as soon as
Yeah.
Devin Haney got comfortable and he tried to kind of like put the pace on,
No,
he got
not soon
tired.
as.
Let's
Not
just keep
soon
it
as.
real. He got
Not
tired.
soon as. Not soon as. You know
Yeah,
that. That
but
was
when Devin Haney got tired and Linares was able to hurt him, there was a whole hugging round. Devin Haney was hurt. So let's ask this. Do you think Lomachenko right now, at 32, 33 years old, beats Devin Haney?
Yes.
Yes,
Explain why.
no.
Well, yeah.
because unlike Linares, he knows how to get in and out. He's more of an inside outside fighter and a pure boxer. It's gonna be harder for Devin to land a jab when Lomachenko's main asset is a stiff coming forward jab that he uses to take the opponent off, which is also Devin Haney's power too. And another thing, before the Linares versus Devin Haney fight, I was actually saying the same thing about what I'm saying about Nakatani that I'm saying about Devin Haney. I was saying he cannot make this weight class too much. He should move to 140.
Yeah,
As you
you're
saw
gonna
in the
have to.
later rounds, he looked gassed, and that was because of the weight.
I think Linares can beat. I think Devin. I think Lomachenko beats Devin Haney maybe right now.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
Lomo you gotta show Lomo something for him to respect you. And if he doesn't, he have beat everybody. If he doesn't respect whatever you bring to the table, he definitely beats you.
no, no, no. Cause I don't know if y'all never seen the the Gary Russell fight versus Lomachenko,
I
which
saw that one.
I saw it.
which I'm gonna always say Gary Russell won that fight.
Oh,
You
bro.
feel me? No, he won that fight. And number one, they cheated him because he was the first person that knocked Lomachenko down. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got Gary. I got Gary beating Devin's ass if they would fight. I think Gary would beat down Devin.
Look, Gary Russell and Lomachenko are the only two people that are even the caliber of a Devin Haney. Devin Haney, after he
What are you
fights
talking
those,
about, bro?
Wait, what?
No, wait.
yeah, yeah,
Lomachenko beat the fuck out of Gary Russell in his third
Right?
fight.
Exactly. I don't know
no,
what
And
he's
let me
saying.
just say
no,
this. And it
no,
but listen,
he got dropped and the ref didn't count it. He got dropped.
In the third fight, yeah, in Lomachenko's third fight, he fucking outpaced Gary, and Gary was huffing and puffing like a fat pig.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, since then, Gary has never lost. So that goes to show you that Lomachenko in his third fight beat the fuck out of Gary, bro.
In his
Man,
third
Gary
fight,
Russell
exactly.
dropped him, man, and the
That wasn't
referees
That
even a
drop
drop, bro.
wouldn't give him the
referees
win
didn't score that.
regardless. They wouldn't give him the win even if you count the drop. He
Yeah,
won
that was
a
a
lot
split
more
decision.
rounds.
That was a split decision.
Man, that was bullshit.
Bro,
Come on, now
really.
that was Lomachenko's first split decision.
Hey,
Bro,
who was the most natural 135 pounder out of all the fighters we mentioned?
You gonna say Teofimo? I don't know.
no, because Teofimo need to move
Cambosos.
up. He need to move up.
Cambosos.
That's what I'm saying. I think Lomachenko's most natural weight is 135. Thus, that's why
No.
he's so great at it. I think that's his natural. His best weight will be 135, 130, but he can make the weight the easiest
It
out of
was a
all the
majority
130 he
decision,
done
by the
better.
way,
And
bro.
130 he
Yeah,
done better.
130.
This 130 he doesn't look all that great, just like Linares. He's not great at 135. You guys forget that everybody's like, oh, because they fought 135. That's not really their best weight class. Just like
for
a
the
Gamboa's
for the
weight class is not
matchups
135.
for the matchups he has with the guys who are champions. He's clearly the most easiest. His way of making 135 is easier than Devin Haney's, easier than Ryan Garcia's, easier than Teofimo's. All these guys have to struggle on the scale to make the weight. So Loma goes in there fresher.
Oh no, it's true.
That's what I'm saying.
Loma actually is not a 135. He's a 130.
Because he walks already at 135. Yeah. He walks
he actually
before the
too
fight at
small.
135, 140.
Yeah, he's too small for that weight, bro. He only went there to try and, achieve more greatness. And let's not forget, this is the same guy who had 396 amateur wins, 1 amateur loss, and he avenged that loss twice. I mean, this is a guy who's created history books. I mean, you can say what the fuck you want, but who the fuck have you ever known as a professional to come and win a world title in his third fight against Gary Russell?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, isn't that something to say that there's no fighter who's going to be able to do that, bro, in the current times? You know what I mean? So give Loma his props. I think people just give Loma hate because of the way that he's arrogant and he's, one of them Russians. Nobody relates with him. He's not American. He's not British. He's from Ukraine. So people don't really relate with Lomachenko that way. You know what I'm saying? But let's not forget, Lomachenko was the pound-for-pound guy. He was the pound-for-pound guy. Even ahead of Terence Crawford, some people had him, bro.
He deserves a rematch, man. If he takes Nakatani out, he deserves a rematch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you guys are sleeping on Lomachenko. Seeing what Linares did after 3-4 years.
Yes.
Or 3 years after Lomachenko when he fought Linares in his prime. You see a Linares now who's been knocked out 3-4 times, and he
Exactly.
nearly knocked out Devin Haney, bro.
Exactly.
Let's keep the shit real.
Don't do
Lomachenko
do
is
that.
definitely the second best fighter at 135, in my opinion, right now.
Devin Haney needs to move up, man. His dad is gonna ruin his career.
No,
by the
as well,
coaching and by keeping him at 135. Devin needs to be a 140 pounder.
I agree.
he needs to get all of the belts and then go up.
Yeah, but how many fights does it take for him to get all the belts if he doesn't fight, let's just say, a Teofimo? Unless he fights him, hopefully Teofimo wins, and hopefully they fight next, just for bragging rights, right?
Look, Kambosos is like the biggest braveheart out there. You know, he's like, you know how Sean Porter fought everybody. You know, Kambosos he won't duck anybody. I'll guarantee you he will fight. You know, even if it's Haney, he'll fight Haney or whoever the immediate fight right after Teofimo. Teofimo tried to duck and he gonna run into a brick wall.
How could he duck? How could he duck?
What promotional company is Kambosos signed to? Because if he would knock out or beat Teofimo, were those belts?
He's gonna be rich.
Where are you gonna have to go to get those belts? Is what I'm saying. So, what promotional company is Kambosos with?
I'm sure.
I don't know. He's
He
not.
might be with Pacquiao them, huh?
No.
I have to look it up.
A team and promotion is two different things. So it can't. Yeah, he's not. I don't know. I thought he. Well, not with Eddie, right?
Imagine if he knocks out Teofimo and then just leaves and says does him the same way Teofimo was doing Lomachenko. Just says, "I'm out."
Yeah, I'm not fighting you.
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If there's no rematch clause, then I don't blame him.
That's crazy.
That's fair. That's fair.
insane.
If you're gonna fight somebody and they're looking down on you and they don't want to give you that rematch before the fight, so what? You're gonna give them the rematch just because you won, but they didn't want to give it to you when you probably offered. Let's just say, it's as a fight, as a person, you know you're gonna be petty about it. You're gonna be petty.
The division's gonna be wild if that happens, man. Because who will Kambosos pick to fight next? That would be crazy.
Well, he was. What was it, like a few months ago? He was actually talking to. I'm not sure if it was with Haney or with Ryan Garcia. They were talking like behind closed doors, talking about, because he wasn't sure if he was going to get the Teofimo fight too, because they were going to do the step aside. So he kind of wanted to talk to. I'm not sure who he was talking to. Either one of those two guys, and he did say, "I'll fight you guys next." And they were kind of like, "Oh yeah, sure," you know. Yeah, so he's definitely down. You know, ain't nobody taking credit from him. He got balls, and you know what? He actually have a better resume than Garcia and Haney, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. The fight's gonna be great. The thing is how does someone handle defeat? A young phenom. None of these phenoms have had any defeat, so that's gonna be another one, right? So the first one that goes down is gonna have to have a talking to themselves,
Man, hey, boxing needs like how college got the BCS rankings and stuff. I'm talking about it need to be just like it is, like, and then just form a tournament playoff system. Make all of the top 4.
Yes.
You know, put them in an elimination against each other.
That's what the WC they've been talking about. Supposedly, I'm not saying, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but that's where they've been talking. That's one of the big plans they're trying to do, where they're trying to start a tournament. So instead of you having like 4 different mandatories, you just get the winner of whoever win that tournament. Which it sounds good. I like it, because nobody will be ducking nobody. That would be nice.
The tournament will never work because you need people to accept to go into a tournament, right? And a lot of people don't. A lot of people or promoters don't let their fighters go into tournaments, just like the Super Series, right?
Well, yeah, that's the hard part. But I mean, you put the top 4. If you have a champion, then you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You should put them on whatever belt. Especially if it's WC, you should put the top 4, and they should work something out. But that's the issue. It's all that behind closed doors is the tough part.
What if Tank knock out Barrios and come back down to 135?
Well, good for him. I hope he
I'm
does.
saying, no, that's gonna be terrifying. You guys are gonna have to run. I don't think nobody's gonna want to fight him.
I think Tio and him will be a great fight. Now that's a matchup where I'm like,
Why?
ooh, I
Why?
think so.
I mean,
What
no.
they bring,
What?
skills and power.
No. Who? Are you sure you want that man to take that kind of a punishment,
Come on, man, they're fighters.
man?
I think Floyd's gonna take Tank to least resistance. He's gonna he's gonna get as much pay per view or as much revenue can get out of him without risking him to.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly. Because he had the chance a few times with Lomo, and when Tank was beefing it with Floyd, that's when Floyd was like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna make this happen. But as soon as they squashed the beef, everything just went down the drain. You guys forgot about that.
Yep.
man, we gotta realize Floyd's a genius, man. Especially about making money. He's not gonna let his guy take a L.
Shit, right
Until
now, this is a tough chance right here.
I think they got him, man. I think he'll take Bar. I
Look,
think he'll beat Barrios.
so Teofimo can be Barrios.
Uh,
Well, we wouldn't
look
know
it,
until they
look
do
it, look
fight.
it,
Hey,
look it.
listen, I reckon
Barrios.
Teofimo Lopez puts Barrios straight to sleep.
No
I
way in
agree.
hell.
I agree.
Yeah, I do. I think the thing is, D
So
Calico.
so
The
watch this.
problem
No,
is
it
with
wraps
you,
up.
D Calico. The
No
problem
wrap.
is, yeah, you not realizing how special Teofimo Lopez is as a fighter as
Exactly.
well.
Facts.
Look
No
I
it.
wrap.
think you're looking past him. I
No
mean,
wrap. It wrap.
yeah.
If he do not knock Cambosis out, I'm gonna ask you that same question. Do you
Mm.
still think that he would knock out Mario Barrios, even if he cannot knock out Cambosis? Do you really
Look it.
think that?
This
They're
this is
different
my
fighters,
thoughts.
different
I
This is
mean,
styles.
my thoughts.
styles
My
make
thoughts.
fights.
Tank.
And
Tank.
Mario Barrios likes to always come on the inside. Mario
Exactly. He don't
Barrios
use his height.
also is a fighter, yeah, that likes to, you know what I mean? He likes to move around, but when he comes in the inside, he's always using his uppercuts. You know what I mean? He'll get caught. You know,
He fights short. Yep.
Teofimo Lopez would, counterpunch him. He will be able to calculate him, bro. He'll be able to find ways to hurt him. You know what I'm saying?
This is
Listen, I think Teofimo Lopez, people underestimate that the reason why they don't want to fight him and come forward and have a tear up with him is because they feel his power. You know what I'm saying? That's
Exactly.
why Lomachenko didn't want to be involved in the first 6 rounds.
Nah.
That's what it is,
this
bro.
this is where matchups play the part, right? Like Tank, in my opinion, has more of an inside outside game proven than Teofimo right now.
Well, he fought
Teofimo,
every somebody.
yeah, Teofimo is more of a, like I said, he's more like Rapstar said, right? He's more of a outside. He'll catch you with a punch, or he'll catch you with a power punch, but it's not gonna be anything from the inside. With Barrios, if you would match up Teofimo and Barrios, that'd be an interesting fight, but you can't. It's hard because it's matchups, right? I think Tank matches us better with Barrios because he has that inside fighting game, that those uppercuts and those hooks to the body, and even uppercuts, or even check hooks he throws sometimes. Um, that's the thing, the matchup. I need to see Teofimo matched up with someone who can test them inside, or for him to show his inside game, right? He's never fought some, and I think Cambosis is gonna let him show his ability on the inside.
And Cambos has got no excuses. He's been training for a long time. He's had like about 16, 18, 16 weeks for this fight, bro. You know what I
Yeah, he's
mean?
been on one.
Cambos has had a full training camp. And let's not forget, he's been prepared for this fight anyway. He knew he was on this fight. So at the end of the day, there's no excuses for nobody.
Beverly Grove Place.
Somebody's at Beverly Groves Place right now.
Sorry, it's me. Sorry. It's the other phone, the company
Where
phone.
you at, Are you at
I'm at
Beverly
work.
Hills?
I'm outside doing the girls. I'm about to serve at one of the stores, but I'm over here talking to you guys.
All right,
Yeah,
But since I'm
I
my own
got ya.
supervisor, so I'm cool.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, look, man. At the end of the day, I think Teofimo Lopez. The only thing I don't agree with is he's like talking too much about Josh Taylor, Devin Haney. He's constantly talking about them next. I think he needs to focus on Cambosos on Juneteenth and, not overlook him.
You know
At the
what?
end of the day, there is one thing I'm going to say, though. Say if Cambosos can take Teofimo Lopez's power, I mean, then it's a long night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got something to say about Josh Taylor, though. I think Josh Taylor would destroy Teofimo. He shouldn't even mention this guy's name. He's still fighting little guys. He's not even improving with the. Josh Taylor is a big human being
A
for
big,
140.
a stronger Nakatani.
Yeah, he doesn't even. It's his. I think it's his dad putting these things in his mind. Again, there's a father guy. There's a father trying to do something that the son is not doing right. I don't think
Yeah.
that's Teofimo saying. I think that's more of the dad wanting Josh Taylor, because he's not in there fighting Josh Taylor, so he just says, "Let me put my son in there." Like Josh Taylor is a big guy, man. He should
But had
not be
his dad been wrong
disrespected.
though? Has his dad been wrong so far in all his
Yeah, he
everything he
was
has
wrong.
said?
He was wrong about Loma because he's lying. He's saying that he doesn't know what his son was doing in the last rounds. That he's even saying that he was beating him in the last rounds, which is a fucking lie, right?
No,
Like we all saw that Loma was
pre-fight. I'm talking about pre-fight.
pre-fight. He wasn't, but he just constantly lies and bigs up his son. He's never said nothing negative about his son, which is good, right? But let's keep it real. He's not gonna be very unbiased. But
Yeah.
sometimes that goes to a fanatical thing. So his dad's kind of fanatical in that sense. I think he even thinks he could beat. I'm not even joking around. I think he thinks that Teofimo could knock out Canelo.
Yeah, you do.
That's stupid as fuck.
Or
No,
at least he
I
talks
not
like it.
No, but let
I
me
don't
tell you something, bro. Teofimo Lopez, yeah, he's proven to the boxing fans. He has proven
Facts.
to the boxing fans that he is the pound for pound guy now. So, I mean, you can't blame him because he's also a big 135.
Exactly.
If he's the number one guy and he's an undisputed guy in some people's eyes, got all the belts. If he moves up, if he ain't gonna fight Taylor, who's he gonna fight? Like the best guys out there, he's got to face them, isn't he? So, I mean, there's some respect. Even Devin Haney, bro, he's getting to 140. He's too big for 135. They're all outgrowing 135. They're only young boys at the moment. They're only 22 years old, 23 years old. Wait
Hey,
till
rap
they
star,
grow a little bit more. They can't make 135 anymore. And we
rap.
saw Devin Haney, and when he took a punch from Linares, he had no resistance. Maybe he's weight drained.
That's what I'm saying. Hey,
You
rap
might
This
star,
think
what do
maybe
you
these
think?
guys are weight drained. You know what I'm saying?
What do you
I
think?
think
What do you think Teofimo does with Progress, rap star?
That'd be a
I,
fucking great fight, bro.
I
You know
got
what I mean?
man.
I got Progress in that one.
Nah, I think Tio could win that one just because Pogre he loves his power, so he throws that right hand so many times, sometimes back to back to back at times. Uh, if he start throwing his combo and fight like he used to fight, then I could see that. But I noticed in his last few fights he's been falling in love with it. Even when he fought Red, that the other guy that died, you know, that
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, he fought. That's a problem when you're a hard puncher. You fall in love with that punch, and then you stop fighting the way you used to fight. And that's the issue with a lot of fighters that and falls in love with the punches.
that's
Yeah,
true,
facts.
man.
Look at
That's how.
Nonito. Look at Nonito. He was knocking
Yep.
everybody out. He was throwing great combos back then, but then he started knocking people out. Then guess what? He fought Rigondal, a way smaller guy than him. Remember that, a way smaller guy than him, and 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 he fell in love with that. He thought that he was just gonna knock him out every time, and guess what? Who won that fight easily? So that's the problem with some fighters that they're good and they could be better, but they fall in love with the punch, the power punch. And that's the only thing I'm not noticing about Teofimo. He's not falling in love because not all his knockout was by a right. Some were with left hooks. Some was to the body. Oh, he dropped people to the body. So I mean, so that's good. That's a good thing for any fighters to just keep that in mind. Only because you got the knockout, you don't want to show it. You know.
Something else we got to keep in mind. Even though we know the opposition is tough, but we'll say this: at 135, the last two opponents who faced Teofimo went all the rounds.
But
So
that
he hasn't
happens when
knocked
you're fighting.
he hasn't
That's
knocked out
normal.
anybody in the two previous
But
fights.
but
So
that's
I'm seeing
normal.
another 12 rounder here.
But yeah, but that's normal. When you're fighting the best in your weight class, it's normal for it to happen. Look at it at the 147. Thurman
Uh,
was knocking everybody out. Everybody was knocking everybody out. But now, as soon as they fight each other, guess what? It goes to 12 round, right? It's normal when you fight the best. It's fine. That's fine.
Nothing
We
negative.
can't we
I'm
can't
not
be
saying
mad because
nothing.
they don't win by knockout with the great
Yeah,
fighters.
I'm not saying nothing negative about it. But what I'm saying is that we saw the knockout power in the earlier stages, but right now it hasn't been being displayed, even in the higher levels, right? Like so, either the weight is affecting Teofimo, or people are seeing something on tape, meaning the coaches are seeing something on tape that they're exposing about Teofimo to avoid getting hit and also going all the rounds with him. So um yeah, so
Yeah,
these
we
knockouts
definitely
aren't
will
coming
see.
easy no more.
Yeah,
These
we
knockouts
definitely will
aren't
see that. We definitely will see that. I mean, you're right. I mean, we will
yeah,
only
but
know
knockouts,
once.
knockouts have stopped for most elite fighters when they step up. You know what I'm saying? When they step up in competition, they
Yeah,
stop knocking people out. You look
yeah.
at even, when Errol Spence was man down, and you know what I mean, when he stepped up, he couldn't knock those guys out. You
Even
know,
a
when
Garcia.
when Keith when Keith Thurman was one time Keith Thurman, when he stepped up, he couldn't knock people out, bro. So I think at some point, you know what I mean, even with Edgar Berlanga, once Edgar Berlanga steps up, he ain't gonna be knocking people out. You know what I mean?
No,
Exactly.
this is where we see Teofimo's how he does in 12 rounders is what I'm saying, right? That's why I brought up the fact that he hasn't been knocking people out. So did he look good against Lomachenko in the last rounds? Not as good as he did before, right? So what I'm saying is now we're gonna see how he really is as a boxer complete, especially when he fights Cambosis. If Cambosis can handle that punch power, then he's gonna be in for another 12 rounder, and we're gonna see what he's really about, right?
True.
Uh,
Yeah. So before you know what, I want to touch on this subject because this subject here, yeah, as boxing fans, we saw this go down on Sunday. And then some people thought, you know what I mean, it was very upsetting to see a YouTuber fight one of the greatest boxers of all time. And you saw that Floyd Mayweather was a shell of himself. You know what I mean? He couldn't even fight properly. This is not the Floyd Mayweather we knew. Even though there was a difference in weight class, this was a mediocre fighter. This was a fighter for YouTube. He lost against KSI from England. Logan Paul got beat up by KSI. Now, we understand the weight class was big. He was much bigger. And, Floyd Mayweather at one point, if you remember the first round, Logan Paul went for him. You know what I mean? That was an exciting round, actually. That Who saw that shit when Logan Paul
I
tried his
saw the
best to
highlight.
knock?
I saw the highlight. It's hilarious. He was like roughing him up all over the place, right? He was hitting him
Yeah,
with
he tried to
hooks.
knock Floyd Mayweather out in the
Yeah.
first round,
Yeah.
bro. And let me tell you something. I was angry for boxing
Hmm.
because, Floyd Mayweather is one of my greatest fighters I've ever seen in the sport of boxing, yeah? And, when he fought that Conor McGregor, yeah, it was still good because he knocked him out and he put a stop to the UFC, you know what I'm saying? Conor McGregor at the time was the UFC champion. He was the man at the time. So this was at the same time funny because Floyd was looking tired, bro. Floyd wasn't the same guy anymore. Floyd, yeah,
Yeah.
Floyd had a few good punches. I'm not lying. Floyd did hurt him a little bit. And then Floyd tried to carry him. Like at one stage, this guy was hugging Floyd like it was WWE.
Yep.
It was a proper hug fest for this guy. But you know what I mean? This was a bit, I don't know, man. What do you guys think, man? I
I
wasn't,
I was
look,
upset.
go
Yeah.
ahead. I just
Sorry.
want happy. I just want happy knowing that this is one of my greatest fighters and he's fighting a mediocre guy and he can't put him out there, bro. He should have stopped this guy. I mean, this was a bit embarrassing for boxing. What do you think?
Look, to be honest, weight doesn't matter when you're fighting in the streets with no gloves, but when you fight in the ring with gloves, it does makes a difference. It is harder. Floyd in the corner at one point, he did go to this corner, and he's like, man, it's hard to hit Logan. It's actually very hard to hit him. When they told him to throw the jab, he's like, dude, I can't land those punches. He's actually moving good. He made Floyd miss a lot, even when they were close. But what upset me, well, that's fine. If he wants to do that, whoever wants to support it, let them. Whoever doesn't, we don't have to watch it. You feel me? But what I did get upset was the fact that we could have seen a Teofimo versus KHAMBOSOS that weekend. By now, we would have been talking about who's the next fighter. It could have been right now, Haney. Haney and Teofimo could have been in talks right now. Taylor and you feel me? That's what got me upset. That because of that guy over there, these guys had to move the fight somewhere else, another time, and it had real boxing. It pushed everything back. And I didn't like that. That's the only thing that really got to me.
Yeah. What do you think about this, D Calico? One of the greatest of all time. Floyd Mayweather against a mediocre comic guy.
Man, bro, when I was watching it,
Floyd couldn't do nothing with him, bro.
Hey, when I was watching, I'm like, man, people were talking about Devin Haney be hugging and Gamboa, all these different, everybody be talking about hugging. Nobody even brung up that guy was like you say, he was wrestling. Well, you're not talking about just hugging. One time he hooked him by the waist, like he got mad, like he like, man, Floyd, I'm gonna slam you on your neck. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? I'm talking about even when he swing and miss, he'll leave his elbow poking at Floyd like, I'm gonna bust you with this elbow, mother sucker. I'm talking about like it was crazy, man. Like he could have hurt Floyd. Floyd think he came to play. That man probably tried to knock one of his teeth out. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about he didn't care if it was a glove either. He'll headbutt him. He'll goddamn elbow him in the mouth. He don't give a care what happened. And Floyd was in there for that money, but he lucky he still looked the same. You know what I'm saying? And I expect his brother to fight a little more dirty the next time. You know what I mean? Because for one, if you remember correctly, like the brother knocked out Nate Robinson by hitting him in the back of the head. He kept hitting him in the back of the head. And when he finally got another one, he put him in the bed. So I don't think Floyd wants to feel these blows that young guy's gonna put on the back of his head. You know what I mean? So, dang, like this is real life WWF. WWF, it was fake. This is a little more real. You feel me? But it still sucks. Like I didn't, I wasn't a fan of what I saw.
I'm gonna go in now and talk and here's my opinion on this is
that was a good fight.
Yeah, I saw what Rapstar saw, which was the when Logan went on a rampage in that first round and was hitting him with the multiple hooks, right? Which was comedy. But then it gets into this, right? You get sad because you say this, right? We know that Floyd Mayweather is money, right? Money.
Yeah, but
the money
what was funny, yeah? Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
In that first round, Floyd looked worried. I'm just saying, Floyd looked fucking worried, bro.
That's what I was thinking. He's like, oh, dude, this is for real. Like, what's going on
Floyd
here?
was scared in that first round, bro. What the fuck?
Hey, bro, that first round made all boxers look bad.
Hell yeah, dude. It's just
I'm talking about if you're a real boxer, then he didn't really hit him. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't because he was missing. But if it's just the point that show us what to do in that situation, Floyd. It's like when you get somebody that know karate or whatever, you be like, hey, all right, show me what to do when somebody does this. You feel me?
Man.
If they don't give us,
you know what?
It disappoints.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that whole sequence? If Logan would have just thrown one body shot, he would have probably landed it on he would have probably landed it. If it would have thrown like a right hook to the body, he would have landed it because his guard was up. He had Floyd's guard up so hard, man.
I couldn't stop laughing.
I couldn't stop laughing, man. It was hilarious, man. It was hilarious.
I'm like, I'm trying to look for the lesson in this. I'm like, what is Floyd teaching us? That we got to weather the storm? You know what I'm saying? It's like I gotta let a guy swing 100 times before I do something. I'm like,
You
nah.
know what? You know what I thought was gonna happen, and I think someone should have coached Logan to do it since it was an exhibition and theatrics, and also just the visual would help you look better if he would have bum rushed him, and as he was on the ropes, just push him out of the rope, push him out of the ring, just throw him out of
He
the
tried
ring.
that. He tried that later on. He tried
Yeah,
that.
yeah, just throw him out of the ring, man. So, but like I was saying before, the sad part is this, right? We know Floyd's a multi-millionaire, billionaire, but we just assume he has money. But the problem is, when you have a lifestyle like that, you got to
Yeah,
keep
but
on.
Logan Paul looked like a fucking giant compared
He
to
was a
Floyd.
giant, man.
Floyd looked like a tiny man. Oh shit, bro, this thing was
Hey,
funny as
hey,
fuck.
hey,
Oh, that was
in a
funny, D
tag team.
Calico. Floyd
Hey,
looked
in a tag team.
frustrated like fuck.
Hey, Rap.
I thought he was
Hey,
gonna put Floyd in his pocket and leave with him, right? That's
hey,
how. That's
hey,
that's the size difference.
Yeah.
bro. In a tag team match, I don't think a motherfucker want to see the Logan brothers, man. I'm talking about they'll be like the Dudley brothers. I'm talking about it'll be
That's true, man.
it'll be like an all out brawl. Like you're gonna get hit with chairs and tables and everything. Like for real.
Yeah.
I guarantee like Floyd don't have a partner that want to get in there with both of the Logan brothers. He don't have nobody that want to come in there with him. I promise you.
Yeah, we got D Hodges in the building. We got Johnny Blaze. We got Lisa. We got Logic. We got Carly in the building. We got Troy. Troy Smoke Alarm. Johnny Blaze. Yeah, man. Look, at the end of the day, right? I just think this: was it good for boxing, or was this bad for boxing? That's the question I got for you, Rep. First.
This was obviously bad for boxing because what it did is it gave people who had a first time encounter with boxing who said, all right, this is my first time buying it, which are casual fans. They bought it and they said, oh, this is the greatest fighter of all time, and my favorite YouTuber who's on one who lost to KSI is like rumbling with him. Oh shit. This is a joke. I think it's all fixed. I think everything's fixed. I think all boxing is fixed.
Yep.
Matter of
Yep.
fact, I
But
think
none of them are
KSI.
all. That was though. That was. I ain't gonna lie. Like
Yep.
I told Rap Star before the
No,
fight.
but let's keep it
Hey,
real. I mean, let's keep it real. At the end of the day, right? When you say that was bad, do you say that's bad because this was one of our greatest fighters and he never looked that good and he looked frustrated at times? I mean, Floyd Mayweather, you know what I mean? This has got Floyd Mayweather fighting a guy who's 1-0 losses. He's lost his first fight on YouTube. He's a YouTube fighter. He's never boxed in his life apart from YouTube boxing. At the end of the day, Floyd was supposed to put this guy away. And let's be
no.
honest, the old Floyd wouldn't even allowed himself close to this guy, bro. The old Floyd would have dealt with this guy, even though because there's no comparison. This guy doesn't have the skills. And Floyd was not feeling himself, bro. He was a bit scared in there. It's like he didn't want to get clipped by Logan Paul.
Yeah. I think
You know what I'm
Floyd's.
saying?
I thought Floyd was gonna take some supplements before the fight, man. But because he's older, he could have taken a little testosterone, especially since they weren't testing. Maybe that would have helped him, but he didn't even do that. I don't think, right? Yeah. The only thing he did was get some more hair implants and stuff like that. But that's not gonna help in the fight, man. You need to get your body up, right? He looked actually. I don't know if everybody else on the panel agrees. He actually looked like Floyd Mayweather Senior face.
Yeah.
His face looked like that. Like he just looked aged.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, yeah, Floyd Mayweather, I don't know, man. I think he was a bit disappointed. I think Floyd at the end of this exhibition fight was a bit embarrassed. Just like what some of the chat people says, Carly says it was horrible. It was just horrible, bro. Like, if you're a real hardcore boxing fan, right, and you supported that event, at some point, man, you were disappointed that Floyd Mayweather is fighting and struggling, not struggling much, but frustrated against a YouTuber, a man
Right.
who's never had boxing skills in his life. I mean, that
Bro.
looked bad a little bit, you know what I mean? Because at the same time, you don't want Floyd to look bad, because this is one of the guys who represents our sport. We want Floyd not in those situations where he's looking a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
You
D
know,
Calico, what do you think about that, man? That Floyd don't need to do this kind of shit anymore.
Thank you.
And you know,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah,
think?
you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. It's really disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And it just make us seem like, as long as you can dangle a carrot in front of us, it's just like we some damn animals. Like we're gonna always chase that carrot. You feel me? It's like, how much money is enough money? I guess there is no amount where motherfuckers are just fine to go sit their ass down and enjoy life. Like I'm gonna go enjoy my money, and like I might organize one of my fighters, or to organize fights, but I don't have to get out here and make a mockery of myself. You know what I mean? For real. I mean, I know it's tempting to a guy like that. You feel me? It's just like saying a hitman. A hitman could have changed his life and going to church, and now you gonna come at him with $100 million to do a hit. You finna put the devil back in him, whether he die. He might die trying to do it. But he gonna try. But
Yeah.
his time is up.
Yeah, I don't think I think Floyd should not come back and do any more. Even if he's gonna do exhibitions, then it's okay for him to do exhibitions. But I don't know, man. For me, again, man, it's kind of mixed feelings I got about this. Because I remember Floyd when he was the man. You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
Floyd was the master. When Floyd was the guy who, you know what I mean, was the one who changed the game of boxing.
But let's be honest. Even a young Floyd would have never fought this guy. Like, what made him fight a guy nearly 50 pounds bigger than him? I guess this is his way of trying to imitate what he think he would have done if he was Deontay Wilder. Oh, it don't matter. He's 50 pounds bigger than you. You supposed to do it like this. Let me show you how it's done. You know what I'm saying? And he found out that, whoa, it's a lot fighting a guy 50 pounds bigger than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The best Floyd Mayweather was 135, and that's the way I remember him. I don't even remember his later years when he was just winning, but just using a lot of evasive techniques. I just remember
Yeah.
his 135 when he was a killer. He was a killer at 135, just knocking
Yeah.
people out. He
Yeah.
wasn't playing around. That's why I don't like when people compare Devin Haney to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was knocking people out and taking no prisoners at 135. He wasn't
Mhm.
out here dancing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's real.
Yeah, but some
now,
people say, some people say he got 100 million for that, and he's using his name. He's using his name from the past to make that money. I mean, at the end of the day, well, look, I'm not hating on him making billions of dollars. I don't care about that. I just don't want Floyd to start looking bad against people, which, you know what I mean, he don't need to be in the ring with. I mean, what's the next thing Floyd's going to be in the ring with? With some Hollywood fucking movie star, is he? I mean, what's he going to do next? Fight somebody who's a
I
comedian, celebrity? You know what I'm saying? This kind of shit don't look good. I think because Floyd was one of the best ever.
Hey,
You know what
50
I'm
is
Cent,
saying?
that guy is that guy
bro.
from the Austin Powers? Is that guy from the Austin Powers, or is Austin Powers the Mini Me? Is he still around? Maybe you could fight him, Mini Me and shit.
No,
Give
no,
him a
no.
beat.
Look. He gonna fight 50 Cent. That's who he gonna fight. You feel me? And that's another guy that got him by at least 50 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You gonna get hurt, man. You too little. You can't wrestle with these guys.
He's too old. He's
Yeah,
too
but you know
old.
what the problem was? Floyd looked like a shade of himself. He
Yeah.
really just looked a shade of himself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you heard stories, right? That Haney took beat the shit out of Floyd in sparring, and that obviously Spence beat the shit out of Floyd in sparring. So
Yeah,
he
but
should have known that
that
he's
was
aged
towards the
already.
end of his career. And
Yeah.
Haney did not beat the shit out of him in sparring at all. Haney just sparred and when Floyd wasn't in training and just gave Floyd a good little training session.
Yeah.
But
Well, Bill Haney's a liar. He likes being putting more frosting on the cake, as they say, right? So he was the one saying that Haney was basically taught Floyd a lesson in a sense. Uh,
well, at this point, yeah, it just goes to show me that this is tarnishing his. I mean, look, in some respect, I'm all for him to make his money. I'm happy for Floyd to go and make whatever he's got to do. But in some respect, this kind of tarnishes legacy. You got Manny Pacquiao fighting Errol Spence, and you got the TBE, the one of the best who did it, fighting a media fucking YouTuber, mediocre YouTuber, and not even looking good with the YouTuber. The YouTuber tried to knock him out in the first round. I mean,
KSI is probably saying I could knock out Mayweather.
yeah, I just think sometimes money is just comes to a point that I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it just seems like it gets to a comedy show. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
man, we suckers, man. We slaves for $1 bill. You know.
yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, we can say this and that, but we still watch Mayweather whatever he does. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just that big of a name. Whatever
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather does, people are gonna watch. But I don't think Floyd was happy with that, bro. That's why you've not heard anything from Floyd. After
What do you
that post fight, he ain't talking about anything.
What do
Floyd
you guys
Floyd
think?
Mayweather Floyd Mayweather was disgusted. I'm telling you, he was frustrated.
What do you think about his post fight face and his comments when he was in the ring? He looked like he looked like he just like got naked and it looked like a prostitute who just like had sex and they got $50, right? He looked kind of like taken advantage of in the post fight, right? He looked kind of like, what did I do?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Floyd just wasn't happy at the end of it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely wasn't happy, man. He looked like that was weird, man. And had you ever seen Floyd look like that? That after a fight, I've never seen him look like that, man.
Nah, his energy was low.
Yup. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. D Calico, I don't think he was. I mean, at the end of the day, that wasn't the same Floyd. You know what I mean? His energy was different,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just trying to be a very professional about it.
Look,
You know what I mean? He
Floyd.
was just talking about
Look,
it
look,
corporately.
look.
What do you think?
Put like this. Before the fight, he told all of us. He basically he had us all fooled. He told us all that he could have beat both of them on the same night, and obviously he couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe it, but it's true. He could not have beaten both of them. You know what I'm saying?
you said it.
Just because he wouldn't have been able to go no 16 rounds. I mean, it's just impossible. He didn't have that in. Like normally, Floyd Mayweather at the end of a fight, like he doesn't even look like he's been through 4 rounds. Like after 12 rounds, Floyd Mayweather he be looking like he can do it again. You feel me? This was different. Floyd looked like he got a little more gray hair after that fight.
Yup.
You know,
Yeah, he looked old. Floyd
yeah,
looked
He
old
did.
in this fight, bro.
like he was
Finally,
tired,
the
man.
age has caught up with
Like
him.
like like you say, he looked so much like his daddy. It was scary. You know what I mean? Like back in the days, he looked like his dad before the gray hair, but now he's looking like the gray hair version of his daddy. You know what I
Who is
mean?
it? Who is cornering him?
I don't even know who his corner was,
I
bro.
don't think he had really. I know they wasn't talking to him. They was just putting a chair out and putting water on him. You know?
Yeah, he should have just said that someone put something in his water. He should have said someone put something in his water.
That was funny, bro. It's the hair. Somebody says it's the hair. He needs to get rid of. He needs to get rid of the hair and go fucking bald again.
Yeah, go back to ball on him.
He looked
Yeah.
like. And you know what? This is funny, but at one time I thought he looked like 50 Cent. Floyd Mayweather looked like 50 Cent.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm talking about
Oh
look like his
shit.
little brother 30 Cent. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit. But you know what? though?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he made a lot of money. I'm happy about that. But that first round, D Calico, I can't get over that first round, bro. That Logan Paul went for Floyd. He tried to knock Floyd out. And I see Floyd at the end of that round, boy. He was happy and he was like, I'm glad this motherfucker get away from me. Like, he was like, what the fuck is this?
That's
Logan,
true.
And the
It's true.
fucking Logan Paul have the audacity. How the fuck did he have the audacity?
You ever
Listen, bro.
you ever seen someone get jumped with like with sticks when they just beat the shit out of someone with sticks? That's what it looked like happening with Floyd. It just looked like someone beat him down with some sticks or something, man.
Floyd was looking at Logan Paul like, are you for real that you tried to knock me out? I mean, he was looking at Logan Paul at the end of the first round and he was, are you for real? Did you just try to fucking come for me? Did you just try to knock me out? You know what I mean? That was funny as fuck.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. I'm not going to lie. After that first round, I was in tears. I was just laughing. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. But I'm so glad that Floyd, you know, after the second, third round, he started hurting Logan Paul. You know what I mean? I think after Logan Paul got hurt after a couple of punches, he was just hugging. It was like a hug fest.
Hey,
The man couldn't fight after that, bro.
Look, Logan Paul is weak. He's weak. But him fighting a guy so much smaller, it was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, it wasn't fair, you know, at points. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so I didn't like it for a long time. But as soon as he started getting punched, he was ready to go to bed. I'm like, man, this guy is weak. You know what I'm saying? Like
Just
if
because
it was
Logan
Paul is 100 and what weight was he?
189
pounds?
189.
Yeah, 189.
So he's like a cruiserweight.
Yeah, like damn near Usyk almost.
Yeah, Usyk would knock fucking Logan Paul out in the first 30 seconds, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if Gennady Golovkin fought Logan Paul, he'd put him to sleep in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine what Canelo Alvarez will do to Logan Paul?
They got to put Logan Paul in with since he's all hyped up. They should put Logan Paul in with someone who's his weight. I don't know who would be, a retired like a. What do you think he'd do with Roy Jones?
Oh my God, he'll beat the hell out of Roy Jones.
Is finished, man. Roy Jones is shot.
Yeah,
Roy Jones can't even fight anymore. The last fight with Roy Jones and Tyson was embarrassing, bro.
Imagine if Logan Paul did Roy Jones dirty. Everybody would be like, "What's going on here?"
That'd be fucked up, bro.
Hey, imagine if Michael Jordan played Logan Paul, like Logan Paul. You know, Michael Jordan and Logan Paul played one-on-one basketball, and Jordan only won by like 3 or 4 points. Like we, oh my gosh.
Hey, Jumbo slices that Yildirim. Remember that guy Yildirim? Who Canelo beat the fuck out of him in a couple of rounds. They said Yildirim will knock Logan Paul the fuck out.
Hey, Billy Joe Saunders would have beat the fuck out of Logan Paul.
Of course he would have.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do if I was Logan Paul's like publicist? I'd just look for all the old time boxers, like the ones that are 60, and I'd be like, "Look, I'm on a Hall of Fame beating ass streak." Right?
Hey, Jumbo Slice says that Julius Caesar Chavez Jr. would kill Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to see Logan Paul versus Sugar Ray Leonard, just to see the bum rush again. That one rush, that first round rush on him. See how he can handle it.
The funny thing is though, they're getting a very big name out of this. So people are looking to fight these kind of YouTubers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even as a celebrity, that's why you got that Jake Paul. He's calling out the MMA fighters because MMA fighters are not good standing up. Yeah. They've never been the best boxers. So Jake Paul's been training boxing hard. He's actually the better boxer out of both the brothers. At the moment, Jake Paul is a better boxer than Logan Paul. You know what I'm saying? And he's the one with the unbeaten YouTube record right now. And he just beat the fuck out of Ben Askren. He's the one who beat that basketball player in America. He knocked him the fuck out. So I think that Jake Paul, he's making big noise, bro. Now he's fighting Tyron Woodley, who's a UFC fighter again. So he's the one who's actually making big noise as well. You know what I mean?
I got Jake Paul knocking out Tyron Woodley. Because I don't think Tyron Woodley is if he even has any type of boxing skill. I think Jake Paul's gonna knock him out, and probably the next fight would be Tommy. Let's see if they put him in with Tommy Fury, maybe like 3 fights down, right? What do you think about Tommy Fury's prospects as a celebrity boxer? Even though he has a lot
Yeah,
of
but Tommy Fury is a boxer. He's a real boxer.
yeah, he has a lot of amateur experience, right?
Yeah, and not only that, you know what I mean? He is a proper boxer. And he's been,
Well,
you know, he's been
yeah, he got
training
stand up
hard.
game. Yeah, he
Hey,
got stand
listen,
up game because he's a bare knuckle.
I just think this YouTube thing's becoming big. And I think that Jake Paul, once he fights a real boxer, what's going to be really big is if that boxer's going to knock him out or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of the day, you can say what you want, but these YouTubers are making a big name out of this shit now.
Yep, that's why I say Ryan Garcia is gonna be like the main attraction because he draws in the social media. He's a social media influencer, so that coupled with his boxing ability makes him a rare find right now. Like
Yeah.
like he could be the next De La Hoya.
And he's signed. I think that's probably why he has that depression, right? He has the depression because De La Hoya's pimping him out, and he's like, I want to get
Yeah,
out of this contract,
yeah,
man. I
yeah,
can make
yeah,
more money without you.
yeah. He could be the next Mayweather money wise, or he could
Yeah.
be the next De La Hoya boxing wise. One of the other. And I know,
Yeah.
he wants to pimp it and get all the money he can. I don't blame him.
De La Hoya is a character himself, right? In his recent
Money.
days,
Yeah,
all
there's a
kinds.
lot of hate going back and forth with De La Hoya and Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez. De La Hoya's now, you know what I mean, hating on Canelo Alvarez and all this kind of shit's going on social media now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, De La Hoya is making all arrows point to him, right? Meaning all like attacks, right? So he's wants smoke everywhere, right? He's saying Mayweather, he's saying Canelo, he's saying everybody sucks, right? It's just like I don't know if it's a technique or if he's literally having issues or something like that. But
Hey,
he's
look, let me make this statement right now. When De La Hoya was at his best, in his prime, you can say what the fuck you want, but that De La Hoya in his prime would beat Canelo Alvarez. How about that?
No. No.
I'd have
Yeah,
to
he
tell you.
would.
I have to tell you.
If
I'd have to
Canelo,
tell you.
listen, I'm telling you now, if De La Hoya was in his prime, you're talking the De La Hoya in his prime, yeah? He gives
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez every problem that
I'll
you've
tell you
ever
this.
faced. You saw what Floyd Mayweather did
I'll
to
tell you
Canelo
this,
Alvarez,
Rapstar.
bro.
I'll tell
When
you this,
Floyd
Rapstar.
Mayweather was 38 years old, you saw
I'll tell
what he
you
did to
this.
Canelo.
I'll
So,
tell you this.
and
I'll
I'm
tell you
talking
this.
about the De La Hoya when he was 24, 25, 26.
I'll tell you this, Rapstar. In the division, in the weight division, he would school him. If it was at 150, he would beat 147. He'd beat him.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody could have beaten De La Hoya because I think he got. Matter of fact, I think he got robbed a little bit. Robbed in a lot of decisions that De La Hoya did, right? But he kept on fighting. The only guy that I ever saw really put a real good beating on him that was in his same weight division, or not a beating, but
Yeah, but
caught
you
him
heard
laughing.
what I said. I'm talking about the young Oscar De La Hoya. I'm not talking about the Oscar. I'm talking the welterweight, the young Oscar De La Hoya at 147, even at 150 when he did catch weight
At
152.
147, he was a monster. At
Yeah,
147,
bro. He
De
was a
La Hoya was
different
a monster.
fighter, man. Different
Yeah.
kind of beast. And you know, you're talking about a fighter who's been a 5-weight world champion. This is a Oscar De La Hoya, which was a gold medalist. His
Yeah,
skill
he was a
set
beast.
and his skill set and his pace, just his skill set and his pace, I think would have dealt with Canelo Alvarez. You get
Yeah, I
me?
can't. Yeah, in those weight classes, I'll tell you, De La Hoya is a pound for pound all time great, but he doesn't get the respect, I think, because he went up in weight and was fighting guys that were like when he fought Bernard Hopkins. Come on, man, Bernard Hopkins wasn't his weight class, man. Bernard Hopkins was an animal himself at that weight class, and De La Hoya went up too high. That's not his body type. But at 147, he was a monster.
Yeah, facts, bro. And people forget that De La Hoya, he's not just such a skillful fighter. He had a great fucking jab when he wanted to use it, bro. When De La Hoya wanted to use his jab, it was over. You know what I'm saying? This this guy is the most underrated Mexican fighter I think he goes down as a better Mexican fighter than Canelo Alvarez. Because you got to remember this. He's a 5-weight world champion. His accolades are second to no one. You know what I'm saying? A 5-weight world champion is a different level. What's Canelo? A 3-weight world champion. You get me?
But
So
you see what happens when you have a certain look to you though. When you're the supposed gold, when you have that look that women like or whatever, you're not gonna get the respect as a fighter, even if you're doing anything, right? Even Ryan Garcia, like Calico says, right? He has all kinds of attributes that he can make him a star, but he's gonna always have that hate just because the women go to him, right? Same thing with Sugar Ray Leonard. I think Sugar Ray Leonard was great, but a lot of women liked him, so people were hating on him too. So it just
no, sorry,
it's weird,
Canelo's
man.
a 4-weight world champion. Yeah, carry on.
It's just weird. It's just weird, man. It's just weird that the hate people get because of, I guess, because they attract women. That's what happens, man. Sometimes. So
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think, with Oscar De La Hoya, he got a lot of hate from his own people when he beat, the legend himself with Chavez Sr. Because Chavez Sr. was always the Mexicans, what do you call it? Like the Mexicans'
Yeah,
pride and joy fighter.
icon, the icon.
Yeah, he was the icon, bro. So when he beat that guy, he was the American Mexican. So the real Mexicans, they didn't really accept Oscar De La Hoya. You get me?
Yeah,
yeah.
they
Well,
did.
the reason that happens is because a lot of people don't know about Chavez Senior's story, right? His story is pretty interesting in regards to like his lifestyle and the things he had to overcome. I think that's why people give him so much love. He was addicted to many drugs. He was doing all kinds of drugs even when he was fighting, meaning recreational drugs. He'd go on benders. He'd be up all night on cocaine. He had legendary parties in Mexico with. He'd stay up for 3 4 days when he'd party with Camacho. He'd invite Camacho after they fought. He'd invite him to Mexico, and they had like parties where they'd be doing all kinds of women and all this type of stuff, doing cocaine benders. He was friends with cartel kingpins and stuff like that that would befriend him and all this type of stuff. So he has a lot of like aura to him in that sense, as like a man's man, as they would say, right?
Yeah.
And
So
I
yeah,
think De La
so,
Hoya was more of the golden guy.
Golden boy, yeah. The American golden boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The corporate golden boy, the one which was, making the money, innit? Oscar De La Hoya changed
the,
the game.
a Oscar De
I'm
La
gonna tell
Hoya.
you. I'm gonna tell you guys a legendary story about Chavez Jr. Legendary, and that makes people laugh. For that's hilarious in a sense. His family, he was addicted to cocaine, right? So his family did an intervention on him. His sons, and his wife did an intervention on him. They took him to a facility in Guadalajara where Canelo's from, but he didn't know he was getting taken to a facility in Guadalajara. Okay,
Mm,
he didn't know that they were taking him to a drug treatment facility to detox. So they put him in like a state. It was a big building, right? Crappy, looked like shit. Looked like a place where drug addicts are at, right?
mm,
They put him in it, and he's like, "What are you guys doing to me, or what? Why am I being put here?" And he was surrounded by drug addicts, and he started screaming, like, "Let me out!" And that's when the white jackets came, meaning people who put the white jacket on you. And he apparently knocked out around 30 guys. Supposedly, just knocking, he's just knocking, he's just knocking people out right there in the facility until they finally got a hold of him, and that's when he got over his drug addiction. They basically held him in a cell, and that's how he got over his drug addiction. So there's all kinds of things like that people. There's stories that a lot of the English public doesn't real English speaking public don't realize that goes on in that's why they love Chavez. It's not just necessarily the boxing, right? Because boxing, we can all see that Oscar De La Hoya and other fighters have more over him, right? Uh, that's the reason. It's kind of like Tyson, right? We know Tyson isn't the greatest of all time, but he has that story that we love, right? We know he has that story of retribution, of fighting addiction, of
No, I
overcoming things.
think why Chavez Sr. was the most loved fighter, yeah, is because he was a hard motherfucker. Like, he was a
That's true.
hard man.
That's true.
If I've met, and you gotta remember this, the man no matter what happens, even in those close fights, which were controversial, that some people feel that, you know, the other opponents got robbed, but on paper he beat those guys. He beat Medrick Taylor, the guy which was the Olympic dream, the American dream, which was the most talented fighter in the world. Medrick Taylor, bro. Chavez Sr. fucking knocked him the fuck out. And I know it was only last 2-3 seconds left of the fight, but Medrick Taylor was gone after that knockdown, bro. He was fucked. And that Medrick Taylor was a badass motherfucking fighter. And Chavez Sr. beat that good dude. You know what I mean? Even though they say the referee shouldn't have stopped it. There was only a couple of seconds left, but Medrick couldn't even respond after that knockdown. And let's not forget, he fought Pernell Whitaker, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pernell
Remember that
Whitaker
fight.
was,
Remember that fight.
even Pernell Whitaker was outboxing Chavez in some of those rounds, but Chavez's come forward aggression of style of fighting, it just kept him. You know what I mean? Some of the judges just like a fighter that keeps coming forward. Chavez would always keep coming forward. He was a strong motherfucking dude. You know what I'm saying? This guy,
Under,
he beat some great fighters, bro. And
yeah.
you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, he fought Camacho too, didn't he?
Yeah, he fought Camacho, man. They're good friends, man. Sad that he died. R.I.P. Camacho, man. One of the best fighters of all time.
Yeah, Camacho was a bad lightweight. Camacho was a bad motherfucker at lightweight, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Chavez Sr. was the one who put the Mexicans on the map afterwards, didn't he? Like he was he was the man for them, you know what I mean? Because Salvador Sanchez died. Salvador Sanchez, which was another bad man, he died at such a young age. He was like, they said he was better than Chavez. They said he was just as good as Chavez. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
YouTube him, and you'll see a style that's not used today. It's very evasive and hard hitting. It's a very evasive and hard hitting style of Salvador Sanchez, man. I haven't seen anybody replicate it in today's era of that. That's also what died with them, right? Because usually fighters, when they see fighters, they try replicating the style. As we see, Devin tried replicating Mayweather style, and a lot of fighters have tried replicating Mayweather style because that was the whole vogue, right? Sanchez's style died with him because it wasn't shown all over the public, so a lot of people couldn't try to replicate it. Um, if anybody in the chat or anybody else, if they have time, go look at the YouTube highlights of Salvador Sanchez. You'll see a style that's hasn't been replicated till not even to this day.
No, but Salvador Sanchez, they said that was such a, you know what I mean, fighter. He was, his accolades at 21 years old is second to no one. You know what I mean? And
Uh,
this guy was a champion at 17 years old, right?
yeah, he was, and he died young too. I think he died like at 24, man. It's insane, man.
Yeah, he died at such a young age, and they said that he was the guy that they felt like could beat Chavez. You know what I'm saying? But Chavez took everything after that because you know what I mean. Salvador Sanchez, rest in peace, bro. He died in a car accident, didn't
Yep. Yeah.
he? And he was a different kind of a fighter, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Johnny Blaze
you
is
guys
right.
got to look at his highlights, man. It's insane. It's not a style that's used today. It's what I said, right? There's certain like Canelo style, you know, the way the method he's using now. A lot of people are gonna replicate it in this era because you're seeing it, right? So you're gonna see a lot of up and coming fighters start replicating it as people were replicating the Mayweather style, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's a style that was never replicated because it wasn't publicized because he died too early. He didn't. It wasn't like today where we have every fighter's style is shown mass in a mass era, right? Like Tyson. Tyson's style is hard to replicate. There's been people who tried using it, but it's hard to the peekaboo style is hard to do it unless you're coached properly, right? I've seen some heavyweights like some lower level heavyweights try doing it, but there's certain styles that like there's certain styles that are can be replicated, but you need to see it so you can imagine it, right?
Yeah, fact, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we lost a lot of great fighters in the
Uh,
past. There's been a lot of great fighters, You know, like even that it had some mysterious deaths as well. Like you look at Edwin Valero. Who
Yup.
remembers Edwin Valero, the
I
guy from
remember.
Venezuela?
I remember him as a freak. He was a freak for his
Yeah, that
size.
guy was a freak. That guy was coming up and he was beating the fuck out of everybody. Edwin Valero was ready to fight Manny Pacquiao. He was
Yup. That
calling
would have
out
been.
Manny Pacquiao, bro. And
Yup.
Edwin Valero was putting dents into people. And when he fought Antonio DeMarco, he made DeMarco quit. And that's when Antonio DeMarco was in his prime. That's when DeMarco was a world champion, bro. You know what I mean? There was a lot of fighters that kind of died early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yes, there's been
All right.
fighters who've died. You know what I'm saying? That were so great, great fighters out there. But
Hey, Rapstar, you're from London.
yeah, from London, mate.
What do you, is there any fighters in your guys' area that is coming up with a unique style, or that is coming up with more of an inside style? Because I've noticed that a lot of the English boxers that have come out in the recent years, they've been trying to do the more of an outside Olympic boxing style, right? They haven't been trying to. There's not too many people sitting on their punches. The guy I like is Conor Benn, right? I like his style a
Yeah,
lot
you
because he
just saw
seems to
you
be
just
different.
saw the chat, right? Jumbo Slice just put it there. Conor Benn. Conor
Yeah,
Benn's
Conor
got
Benn.
that, that inside style. Don't forget, Conor Benn's mum's Mexican, I think, or Spanish. Now his
I
mum's
didn't know that.
Spanish. His mum's
Yeah,
Spanish, and he
man, I
has
love
that
his
kind
style.
of yeah. And Conor Benn's in America, training in America. At least he's trying to, you know what I mean, adapt to different styles. But
Yeah,
Hey, hey, hey.
at the end of the day, I think right now, Josh Taylor is the man right now for us, bro. The
and he
undisputed
has
champion, Josh
and he
Taylor,
has
bro.
and he has that inside game, right? That's the thing that a lot of the English fighters weren't replicating it. Well, obviously, Billy Joe has inside game too, right, in a different manner. But there was a lot of fighters that were coming out with just more like a Olympic jab style, right?
Yeah. No, but Josh
Hey,
Taylor is the most accomplished fighter at the moment, bro.
Uh,
Um, and let's not forget we own the heavyweight division as well. You know that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, but we're losing a lot of our titles to the Mexicans. With Josh Warrington, with
and
one of
Canelo.
the Edwards brothers. The Mexicans, Canelo Alvarez beating the fuck out of all the British fighters now. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is what it is. I think England has its time. We've had some great champions in England, from Lennox Lewis down to Nassim Hamid, if you remember him, Joe
yeah.
Yeah.
Calzaghe,
I
Carl
like Ricky
Froch,
Hatton's style. I like
Yeah.
Ricky
Yeah.
Hatton's style.
Calzaghe.
yeah,
Calzaghe is the
Ricky
best.
Hatton. But yeah, I mean, we've had multiple champions. It's not like we've not had multiple champions, but right now I think it's a time where, you know what I mean, Mexicans have been dominating lately. You look at 2020 and 2021, Mexicans have been coming back and they've been dominating. And all respect to them. You know what I mean? All respect to them, bro, because most of them have come as an underdog. You look at how England, when they, you know what I mean, most of them came as an underdog. You look at that fighter who came, Martinez, the one who fought Charlie Edwards. Yeah, man, he's kicking ass as well right now.
That's
Martinez,
that's that's the thing I noticed about I don't know why. I think they implement too many systems and they don't let boxers create their own style. In certain like in England, that's what I'm trying to tell you. In England, I noticed that they all come out with a certain like style, right? Like
mm,
they don't let each fighter in their own gym implement. Like Tyson Fury obviously has his own style. That's why I love him so. That's why I like his style so much. Even Deontay Wilder, everybody needs to have their own style, and I don't see. I see like it's like they have a method to just create a certain type of fighter in England that just like a jabbing style that I see a lot.
Yeah. And then,
I'm kind of like,
Lennox got.
what's happening? That's why I'm asking you. Like, why do they have that? Is that the coaching style or what's going on? Why do they only have that certain, for most part, in a lot of the weight divisions, they have that style, that jabbing style?
maybe the British fighters, you know what I mean, they stick with the textbook. They
Yeah.
believe in the jab. The jab is the most vital punch. But you look at what, you know what I mean? Johnny Blaze says boxing wouldn't be as big without the Mexican and UK fans. And that's a fact. The Mexican and the British fans are the most passionate fans
Passionate.
I've
Passionate.
ever seen in boxing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can see all over the world when I watch the fights from England. The Mexican fans are second to no one, bro. And the England fans are second to no one. We're very, very passionate fans, bro, when it comes to the sport of boxing. Because England don't have that many sports. You know what I mean? We have lots of sports, but we don't have basketball. We don't do ice hockey. We don't play American football. You know what I mean? We don't have all
Yeah,
these kind of sports. And
yeah,
for us, boxing is probably a
the
big
top.
thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's the most physical sport y'all really love.
You know what's sad? You know what's sad about sad in the sense that other countries don't get to experience is obviously Mexican fighters or Mexican American fighters, they get a lot of backing, right? Same thing with you British fighters. But I noticed that pure American fighters, sometimes when they take a loss, the public turns on them right away. The like Deontay Wilder, man. This obviously Calico's ride or die for Deontay Wilder, but you notice
Yeah,
a lot of people jumped off of his bandwagon Calico. So that once he loses, they say he's trash, right?
yeah,
That's what's messed up about the sport, man.
yeah, exactly. Like all those accomplishments don't matter. You feel me? That
Exactly.
that's
They say that's
like
what
like
that's not a fan, man. That's not a real fan, man. That's not a
like
real fan of a fighter, man.
I'm gonna be honest. See, my thing is like with Teofimo Lopez. Like people give him the credit because he beat the man that earned those belts. Well, guess what? Teofimo didn't necessarily earn them, but he did beat the man who earned them. You feel me? So I don't give him the same credit as the man he beat, but I do give him credit for beating the man. Now, what am I gonna do? If Cambosis beats him, I'm gonna act like he's the greatest boxer in boxing? No, I'm not. I'm I'm living in reality, so it don't matter who wins. I'm still gonna be seeing that there's a lot of it's gonna be some flaws gonna get exposed. That's what I'm saying. People are gonna get exposed. Either Cambosis is not as tough as I'm assuming, you feel me? And or either Tiafimo is not, a great boxer, like I'm assuming.
Do
One
you
one way
think
or the other.
Teofimo? Do you think Teofimo's a all around boxer?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's not. But that
Okay.
last fight against Lomachenko, you would think he is, because he looked it great in that fight. But that was just like I said. He took Teofimo very serious, and he stuck to his guns and everything his dad taught him. That fight was perfection. But right now he riding his high horse. He's he think his shit don't stink. You feel me? He looking at Cambosis like a little white boy. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker got something else in him, man. He tough. I'm telling you.
Hey, look, man, and that's why we have this panel. With me, Rapstar always has anybody who has an opinion. I'm happy for anyone to have an opinion, and that's what we do. But to be really honest, I disagree with D Calico on that. I think Teofimo Lopez is a special fighter. I do believe that Teofimo Lopez is making a few mistakes to be more interested in Devin Haney and Josh Taylor than the opponent he's got in front of him. But I do think that Teofimo Lopez is the guy right now at lightweight. You know what I'm
Rapstar.
saying? But as far as Lomachenko is a great fighter too. You know what I mean? Lomachenko got great skills. Lomachenko was one of those, what was they call him? They called him the Matrix. Remember that? And isn't
Yeah.
Lomachenko the guy who made fighters quit? Lomachenko made Nicholas Walters quit.
Yeah,
Nicholas Walters was a world champion. He was an unbeaten guy. Isn't
no
Nicholas
more.
Walters the guy who remember this? Nicholas Walters beat Nonito Donaire, and Nonito Donaire in his prime. He beat the fuck out of him, bro. And this is a guy, Lomachenko, who was making people quit. You're forgetting Lomachenko was beating these people when he was like 7-0 and 8-0. And you're talking about a man who put history together. So you can sit there and say Lomachenko, you know what I mean? But at the time, Lomachenko proved it to everybody. He was a special fighter. Ain't nobody gonna beat Lomachenko unless you're fucking got something to offer.
But
So
watch this.
Teofimo Lopez, I think D Calico, you might get surprised. I think if Teofimo Lopez puts on a dominant performance, you know what I mean? It'll just show you that this guy's on another level. Because right
So
now, in this fight, yeah, D, And let's be honest, Teofimo Lopez does have to separate himself against the Camboses. He's got to show the world that this guy is not in my level. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I got a question for both you guys. This is a little bit off the subject, but I just have to go in on this because it's something that might ruin Teofimo's career. All right, Teofimo Senior's out here saying, like I mentioned earlier, that his son can KO everybody from a certain weight, even up to 147, right?
Mm.
If I theoretically matched up Teofimo with Conor Ben, who you guys got winning? I got Conor Ben KOing Teofimo.
Yeah, but the truth is that's different weight classes as well, bro. You know, Conor Ben's at welterweight, Teofimo Lopez is at lightweight. Um,
But
that's
his
why
dad's
they
out here
yeah, but you
saying,
know what?
his
That's
dad's
why they
saying all
have
this
weight
stuff.
classes. That's the reason why they have weight classes. Because at the end of the day, yeah, Teo might be really good at lightweight, but he might struggle at super lightweight. You know what I mean? He might struggle at 140. At 140, maybe those guys are a bit too big as well. I mean, the fight, no, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's why there's weight classes. You got to slowly move up. You can't just jump up. You know what I mean? Because then you're going to be against yourself because these guys are more comfortable at that weight, and that's why
You know.
there's weight classes for a reason, bro.
So what do you think about his dad pushing his agenda that he's gonna come up in weight and these all this type of stuff and he's gonna dominate the weight, that his power is like insane, he's gonna come over here and start knocking people out. Like that's the reason I brought up Conor Ben, right? Conor Ben is a prospect right now. We can see his future is very bright, but even him at a 147 would KO Teofimo in my opinion. So he's I think his dad's talking too much stuff and he's gonna do he's almost like a bit he's almost becoming in the Bill Haney in a sense.
I mean, we got to see, right? And you can't blame them, bro, because at the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez is the undisputed champion. You can't blame them, bro, because Teofimo Lopez beat the guy who was the guy. Now, of course, they're going to be on the hype train, bro. You know what I mean? You're talking about a fighter who beat the pound for pound fighter. So you can say what you want. You know what I mean? He's going to be hyped up, isn't he, bro? They're going to be hyped up. They
So
got to be that kind of,
wait,
people.
so
Yeah, go ahead.
so Buster Douglas should have got hyped up after he whooped Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah, of course you should have.
No, he shouldn't. He should have just been goddamn content with what he was, where he was standing at in life right then. You know,
Yeah, but remember this: Teofimo Lopez was a world champion before he beat Lomachenko. He already knocked out Richard Comey for the IBF title. Let's not forget that.
Do we think all these titles would be there if Mikey Garcia was 135? I think the reason all these belts got spread because Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter, who else? Who else went left from 135? A lot of people left 135, right? Uh, the division's open. I think that's what's gonna happen with 140, right? Once if Josh Taylor vacates all these weight classes, I mean all these belts and goes up to 147, it's gonna be a free for all for the belts, right? So even guys like Comey. Guys like Comey who got 135, you're gonna see weird the same level getting 140 belts, right? Uh,
Yeah, I mean, look, I just think these fighters, look, Teofimo's only 23 years old, bro.
yeah.
The worst thing is, yeah, he's only 23 years old and he's growing. He's not even in his man strength yet. I mean, what we got to recognize as a young boy, he's already accomplished a lot. He's accomplished more than Tank Davis. He's accomplished more than Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney put together.
He's
You know
he's
what I'm
a
saying?
he's done something
look,
that a lot of people haven't done. Period. Right. So
Yeah,
hey, rap star.
he's
That
done.
that thing about
Yeah,
that thing about manpower, right? Because I don't understand. Put it like this: to me, it's like a gift from God. You got to be born with it. It's like speed. You can't teach a person speed, how to be fast. You feel me? Like they
mm,
have to be born with it. What I'm saying is, like I had a homeboy. He went and did 10 years in prison. All that working out and getting strong and shit. And when he got out, he told me, he said, "Man, now I can hit like you." I'm like,
yeah,
man, I've been hitting like that when I was a teenager. So I'm like, I guess you can get stronger as you get older and older. But if it's really, really in you, it's been in you for, way before you got grown. It shouldn't take you to get grown to be a Javante Davis. If you're a Javante Davis, you've been doing that since you was 13, 14, 15. You feel me? For real.
Who has more? Who has more power, Javante Davis or Teofimo?
It's no comparison. It's no fucking comparison. There is no question that there is, man, anybody can be knocked out by Javante Davis. Anybody.
I ranked Davis's power more than Teofimo too right now so far, but I'd have to see it versus Barrios. If he
No,
knocks
it's
out Barrios, I'll definitely say it.
Yeah, but right now, Tank Davis hasn't proved it, bro.
That's
Teofimo
true. That's
Lopez
true,
has
Rapstar.
proved it.
You're right.
he
You're
has
right.
proved
Teofimo
what?
Lopez has proved that his power does belong. Tank Davis has
No,
only proved it to boys which have come in at 122 pounds, 126 pounds. And the only person that he's proved it to is Eucharist Gamboa. Gamboa is his
no.
best win at 135, bro. So let's
Pedrosa
Hey,
keep
too.
that real.
Pedrosa.
Yeah, so I mean, Tank Davis hasn't proved anything yet. He's going to show us now that if he can give anything at 140 about Mario Barrios. But Mario Barrios, I don't even think how proven he is. Mario Barrios is no Jose Ramirez. He's not Regis Prograis. He's not Josh Taylor. I mean, yeah, Mario Barrios got a WBA regular title, but at the end of the day, how good is he as well? You know what
We
I'm
don't
saying?
know. You're right. You're right about that. And he's a young guy too. He's like 23 years old. So it's one of those things that's gonna be hard to rate. But one
hey,
thing I'll say is
look,
Teofimo hasn't been knocking people out for the two fights, right?
look,
Um,
look, look. You do not feel bad for nobody when Teofimo and none of those boxers. You don't feel bad for the person getting punched. When Tank Davis punches somebody, you feel bad for that person, man. You unless you don't got no heart, you feel bad. Just like Deontay Wilder, when he make a person sit Indian style and be bent backwards and all that, you feel sorry for that person, man. You know what I'm saying? Tank Davis can kill a man. We thought the last guy was dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to get up. Like, nobody else is doing that. You feel me? Like, no, Teofimo can't do that. And it's no knock on him. Like, he's really the hardest puncher if Tank was not in that
well,
division.
I'm starting to knock on Teofimo in this sense. His power is magnificent, but these previous two fights, when we know that Lomachenko was put down by Linares, and he's
Yep,
been injured, even Campbell injured him a little bit, right? I did
yep.
not see one time when Teofimo injured
Buckle.
Vasily Lomachenko. I did not see one injury in Vasily Lomachenko. I didn't see nothing that was like, oh, he's gonna go down. That's why I've been questioning. And also versus the Nakatani guy, he didn't injure him. So I'm like, what is happening here? Was he just Was he just getting? I don't know. Was he luckying out with his knockouts, or does he have power? I gotta see it. I gotta see it now.
Hey, that's facts, man. And I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, we can only see the fights are coming up. It's exciting times. We got fights coming up shortly now. We got Undisputed against Jamel Charlo versus Brian Castano. That's another big good fight. Let's not forget Manny Pacquiao announced that he wants to fight Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Boxing's on a high, bro. We got Deontay Wilder wanting the trilogy against Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua fighting Alexander Usyk. So, there's a lot of fights coming up. So I'm going to be cooking about those fights, which are coming up soon on my next live. I just want to say thanks for everybody joining me. D Calico, Rep for coming over here. And, to all the subscribers, to all the people around the world, thanks for joining Rapstar. You know what I mean? But look, we're going to catch up soon on my next live, guys. So thanks for joining us on this live, bro.
You guys have a good one.
Yeah, man.
Peace, peace,
And
peace.
D Calico, you know what I mean? You're going against the odds. You're one of the only people going for Kambosos Jr. I mean, if you're putting money down, good luck to you. But I got Teofimo Lopez, you know what I mean, beating
Rapstar.
Kambosos. And, all love to you, D Calico. But if you want to bet me, I got $1,000 that I would put on Teofimo Lopez to beat the fuck out of Kambosos, bro.
Hey,
Hey,
Rapstar, do you have him by knockout or do you have him by decision?
Man, I got Teofimo Lopez winning either way. But to be really honest, I do see Teofimo Lopez stopping him before the ninth round. I'll see eighth round. I'll say eighth round, bro.
hey,
That,
put it like this, Rapstar.
Yeah.
We can bet on the knockout alone. We can just bet on the knockout. I
Hey, we
guarantee.
can put a bet together, man. You heard it right here. Me and D Calico might have a bet going on. D Calico's one of the only boxing guys going for Kambosos. Rapstar just, you know what I mean? Hey, listen, D Calico, I tell you this much. You better put your money where your mouth is. But you know what, D Calico, you're still one of my friends. You're always welcome on the channel. Whether you bring controversy, whatever it is, you're always welcome for your opinion, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well, bro. So to everybody, we catch you on the next live. Let's get ready for Juneteenth. I know Shakur Stevenson's fighting too. We're going to talk about that soon. But Juneteenth, don't forget, the big fight's coming up. And let's get ready.
Hey, salute to Clarissa Shields one more time.
Yeah, Clarissa Shields, the queen, went over there and crossed over and done what she had to do, bro. But on that note, man, we out of here. Peace out to everyone.
Peace.
Peace.